Hello again. Thank you for joining. I hope you're having an awesome and happy Saturday. I'm Sacred Para, trying this a fourth time. I thought third time would be a charm, but that's okay. We're going to do it a fourth time. I have the wonderful and awesome Barbzworld joining me today. I'm going to call her again, and I'm hoping that this time our call connects. So let me go ahead and invite her to the party. To go live, and hopefully this time it goes through. Because all the other times I would say go live and it would actually kick me off. So I'm hoping that that's not the case. So far, it is still going through. So that's a good thing. It's a very good thing. As you know, on Saturdays and sometimes on different days of the week, we get together and we talk about storyline content creation and character development. And so that's what we're going to do today. Hi, husband. How are you? I was explaining to everyone a little earlier that we had some technical difficulties. I continuously got kicked off of the live feed. And so I actually had to remove the mic. So we're going to have to try it again. I think that mic was kind of causing an issue. But nonetheless, we're going to keep moving forward. So yes, as I was stating, we do have our conversations about storyline content creation. Let's see here. Let's see if we can get Barbzworld on. Yes! How are you? Hi! How are you? Worked so hard. This is the fourth time.
Okay. All right, we're here.
Yes, it's so good to see you. How are you doing?
See you. I'm good. How are you?
Doing good.
Good.
I like those.
Oh, my love.
Yes. Yes, I do. I like them. I like
A little
them.
festive for you guys.
Thank you. Now, is this your first live?
Yeah, sort of.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, I like that. Hey, I get excited. I do. I told my husband, I'm gonna get some confetti. I am. I get some confetti. It was the first live, just blow it everywhere. So
Okay, all right.
so yeah, I'm glad to see you. Plus, you're in my hometown, so this is a special live.
Right.
Yes. I've talked about it. I come from Detroit, so that's my hometown. It's where all my family is still. So majority of my family. So yes, okay. We are going to talk about your awesome storyline and how you're able to fashion and craft such wonderful characters with BeBe and Cece, because they are their own people. Indeed, but BeBe and Cece still the show. So first off, I want to know, they do. What is your background as a writer?
Well, I always liked poems. When I was in school, I would dibble and dabble in it a little bit. I never took it anywhere like doing spoken word. I went with other people and listened at bars like that. And I'm big on movies. I love movie lines, and I remember them like the back of my hand. And people, sometimes they get annoyed because they're like, I would just watch the movie, just be quiet. So it's like a turn of age thing. Now I can just pour it into them. I can just put all the lines I want to put into them, my thoughts, my little journeys, everything. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, I love it. So do you see any of your characters, since you have a love for poetry, do you have any characters that are a poet or poetess?
No, not yet. I can make one, but not yet. It's more or less, I guess, because it's character focused for me right now, because I have BeBe and Cece and they have so much going on. They have their individual careers, and then the one, she has her own store.
Yes.
So it's like I try to focus in on them while still, it's called Barbzworld for a reason, because I can incorporate as many Barbies in my world as I want. But I play off of my main family and the introduction of all the new characters by maybe visiting a store or coming to the flower shop or going to the diner or, you know, just visiting at their house. So that's kind of my way of bringing it all in, like making my chaos make sense. So if
I,
that makes sense.
I got you. I got you. I've always talked about how, for me, I really do view what I do as far as like a soap opera. And if you
Yeah.
think about, oh man, I usually know, I think it's like Young and the Restless, and you got Victor Newman, right? And so you got his family, and they're like really the main focus. Although it's, you know, Young and the Restless, they're pretty much the primary family, and then everybody kind of just feeds off of them, but everything
Yeah.
eventually wraps right back around to the Newman family. So
Right.
I completely understand where you're coming from when you say Barbzworld and how everything branches off, but they're your main focus.
Absolutely. Yep.
Absolutely. There you go. There you go. Now, what is your personal interest in storyline content? Because you can do anything. You can be doing fashion, which
Well,
we already know about that.
I don't per se just like taking pictures for the sake of taking pictures, because it takes me away from being able to tell a personal story. And it's like you can actually get into the character if I kind of stay focused in their little world. But also, like, if I just want to introduce somebody and I feel like, you know, just dressing them up, I could do that too. That's fine. It's no harm, no foul. Mine's isn't more of a just show all the dolls that I have with all the fashions that I have. That's not my wave. I do like the other pages that's like that. They show different styles of fashion. I think they're quirky little styles. I couldn't do it if Lord, if somebody tried to make me do it, because I'm so matchy, it's like it's hard for me. So, but I love to see it because I get to see other people's creativity, and everybody is an individual. So you get to see a little piece of everything. And then it's
Yes.
like BeBe is like an alter ego. I don't have a mini me. So she's like an alter ego for me, you know, and I can get to say and do whatever I want with her. So, you know.
I like that. See, that was going to be one of my questions later on. If BB was your mini me, or if you had a mini me that was in your universe. Okay. Okay.
Not yet. Not yet. I'm working on one. I'll work on one when the time is right. But right now, they're still in the show.
There you go. There you go. Because, you know, if they're talking, you don't want to, you know, try to create a whole new persona, and they're
Yeah.
still talking, they still got a storyline to give, because that could really cause a lot of congestion. Honestly, it can cause a whole lot of mental congestion. We as
Pour myself into a dollar. Lord, no, no, no,
no,
no.
no, no, exactly, exactly. Now, how did you get involved with the doll community?
The doll community. Okay, actually, I was doing like looking online a lot before I got into posting my dolls. So I'm like, it's actually something out here for this. And I laughed at it at first because I'm like, okay, no. Like, seriously? I'm like, okay, well, I'll get my niece into it because I have an older niece, but she hates Barbies like never before. When she was little, I used to try to bring the Barbie doll to her, and she would like, get it away, and go running and crying. And she still to this day, she was just sitting around all this stuff. She didn't pay attention to any of it. She cares
Wow.
less. But I have a little mini me niece. She loves dolls, LOL, all, you know, everything. So she has her own house, you know, that I have a structured one, you know, the one that they make for Barbie.
Okay.
Because my dioramas are too delicate. She knows the drill now. She doesn't tamper with because she knows they're for scenes and taking pictures. She doesn't mess with my house. She doesn't do any of that. She has her this in its entirety. This whole collection will be hers. When it's all said and done. I'm just the caretaker for it right now. So
There you go.
Auntie is taking care of all the dolly stuff and keeping up with all the shoes and all the earrings and all the necklaces and the glasses, because I did not have anybody to do that for me when I was little. And if I knew what I knew today, then this collection is nothing compared to what I had when I was younger. My mother doesn't even remember all the dolls that I consumed. She made me get rid of them, which crushed my heart. She made me give them away to my neighbors. I had like a black garbage bag full. I had a Ferrari and a limo and just all these great, great dolls, especially the black ones with all that vintage stuff, you know, because it came
Yes.
from my time.
Yes.
No sooner did I give them that stuff, it was out on the curb in the garbage, broken up. I was just in tears, like, you know, but it
Wow.
was nothing I could do about it. And I think I was about like 16 or 17 at the time. And my mother was like, you got to get that stuff out of here and clear house. And like, if you can do anything with it, you better put it away. So I saved like about, I want to say about 6 or 7. I saved the MC Hammer. I saved a sparkleized Barbie. I saved the Dr. Barbie, the black one with the stethoscope attached to her heart. I cut her hair, good God, but she's still
I remember
here.
that one because then you press it and it.
And it beats. Yeah, I still have that one. I still have my Jasmine, the one that has the earrings that light up here and here. And it still works. My mom thinks the doll's possessed. Yeah.
Wow.
Cece's soul is possessed. And I have an actual BeBe version. It was the holiday Barbie. I think it was like 1990 or something like that. She's in a red dress with gold sparkles all on it and the gold and red bows and stuff. And my mother just drilled in my head that I better not remove the shoes or the bows or the dress or take the hair and comb it. So till this day, that doll is still in that same condition. Put away.
I
But
had
yeah,
dolls like that too. I did too. Where he's like, you don't touch those, especially like the holiday Barbies. Don't
right.
touch those, and you keep them in a box, or if you do have them out, you have to keep them on display, but don't do
Yeah.
anything to it. And then the other ones, it was like, okay, mine were in levels. Like these are the ones you can kind of play with and do whatever with, especially if they weren't, Barbie. But
Right.
then we started talking about like the actual Barbie. You got to keep up on this particular bunch, and this one you can't touch, and this one stays in the box.
Mm-hmm. I had them. I even had Cabbage Patches, and my mother was so
Yes.
mad at me because she got me the Cabbage Patch fur coat with the hat. And I swear to you, I went over to my grandmother's house and I don't know what happened to that coat. And I was tearing up the house and my mother was raging. I'm going to whoop you and I'm going to get you and I'm going to get you. And I was, Mommy, I didn't do it on purpose. Somebody else, one of my cousins took it. I did. She was so mad because she bought me certain kind. I had a yarn head, a silk, was it silk hair, the silky hair, the yarn head, the the bath and play kind that you put in the bathtub. And I
Mm-hmm.
had a little small collection of them, more or less the Barbies and a small collection of baby dolls. I had Magic Miracles or something like that, Baby Miracles or whatever. Just a few things and teddy bears, but mainly my eyes were on Barbie everything. Yeah.
And our moms, they were trying their best. Especially when we started hitting, like, I know for me, I think I put my dolls away maybe about 14. And,
Oh,
but you were told, hey, you're getting too old. So you put them up, you think that you're doing the right thing, but then you still got this love for your
I had
dolls
the
because,
feeling. You know
yeah.
what? I'll tell you a story that discouraged me. I guess for anybody else that's ever been discouraged when they've been playing with dolls, when they're up in age. I had a friend of mine that was close to my dad's. My dad's best friend's daughter. Played with her my whole childhood. We really got into the Barbie doll thing like really hard. They loved the way I played like real, Barbie. Not hi Barbie, hi kid. They like the real stuff, real family stuff. So one day I went over there. A couple summers had went by. We grew up, but they were like maybe 2 or 3 years younger than me. So to the mom that was there, she didn't see it as any kind of way for them. I was like about 17. And I came over there just to hang out. They were like family. I love them. And I was like, oh my God, y'all play with the Barbies. Yeah. And it was like, it just brought back all these memories of how we would play with the dolls. And she had like everything, the Ford Explorer, the Corvette, the house. We all had the fun and fold house. So we could go to each other's houses and build them up and like live around these. It was so cool. It was so fun. So we're in there playing, and over her house, it was really nice because her whole basement was like a running track. You could just run from side to side to side to side
Wow.
and go round in a circle. So it was super fun. So we're going down there having fun, and she comes down there and she has a scour on her face, and I'm like, "What's going on?" She's like, "You still playing with Barbies?" I'm like, "Is there a time limit on it?" I didn't know. I guess it does look funny now. to them would be an honor. So I just was like, I started to scale back even more and graduating into high school and all that. I still had, like I said, a few things, but I wasn't doing anything like this, setting up and playing and collecting. I pretty much diminished my collection. Yeah.
And it is discouraging, and I see, I can't think of whose page it is, but there's someone and she had did a, oh goodness, what do you call it? Stop motion. She did a stop motion and she had on there the caption that just spoke to like, am I too young to play? Anyone who says that, I'm too old to play. Anyone who says that I'm too old needs to basically mind their own business. And, and it's just, that's true. You should be able to continue to enjoy yourself, whatever your personal, hobbies are, your passions are, despite what anyone else thinks, you should be able to be who you are. And so I'm glad that you did say that, because it speaks to us just being unique and knowing ourselves. And there's so many people who don't know themselves. So whenever we have our dolls and whatever else that we get into, our art, our writing, people see numbers, they see money, and they're like, if that's not making you any money, then you shouldn't even be doing it. But the thing is,
keeping my mind sane. That's what it's doing.
Exactly. Our mental health is more important than anything. Your mental health is your wealth, just quite honestly. So we got to be able to enjoy ourselves, to be able to live our life. And I'm glad, like I said, I'm glad you brought that up, because there are some people who may feel kind of, should I be doing this? Especially if you're new to the doll community. Should I be doing this? I'm too old for this. How will other people, think about me? Live your life, because the same people who are saying something about you really don't know themselves, and they're still trying to find out what they enjoy and who they are, and trying to be like a celebrity that they see on TV. And they don't really know. Maybe those celebrities play with Barbies.
And it's funny because some of them do have their own the ones that have been made after them. They do have them. I crack up and I look at Charlemagne, and he has all these Barbie collections behind him on the radio station. Yeah,
I've never paid that attention. I watch you guys Breakfast Club.
That somebody keeps giving him Barbies. Look, I'm telling you. Pay attention to him one day. He has like a bottle of liquor, and then it's like some Barbies that's been customized for him.
Wow.
I was dying laughing. I'm like, listen, they're everywhere. Y'all gotta stop acting like this stuff doesn't exist. Stop acting like we're crazy. And I'm like, then you think about it. Who do you think is making these dolls? Children? No. It's adults that had the childlike play and grew up, turned into these people, and now they're regurgitating their childhood dreams and stuff back into these dolls. And that's why you see people like her popping up when it wasn't just, the Christie faces and stuff like that. So yeah, it's like, really people want to get that creative outlet. It doesn't always have to do with art and books or whatever else people do, but this is kind of like art for us. We display it in like 4D, if you will, I guess. So yeah, and it's fun, and it gives people a chance to express other stuff. Like, I think people get this misconception where they're like, oh, you got voices in your head, or you're talking, or you're making these other voices. People do impersonations all the time. So are they crazy? Or if they can change their voice for acting or something, are they crazy? Because you're not going to sit up here and say Denzel is crazy for turning on his accent and going into this mode because just think about it. I think like this, and I guess I don't know if a lot of people think like this, but this is just my thoughts. Movie stars and like rappers and stuff like that, if they had to be on the regular every day, do you think they would make it? Because they fought so hard to get to where they are. I'm not saying they didn't do regular jobs on their way there, but they were so annoyed by regular life stuff that they like, no, I'm gonna be an actress and I'm just gonna shine, and it came to fruition, and that's what they do. They don't want a regular job. That's not where their heart is. That's not what they love. That's not a passion for them. That's not what brings them life. Exactly. Like this, obviously, people working at Mattel, if they would have told somebody, yeah, I'm gonna grow up and be a Mattel Barbie maker, you're like, you better get your life together, young lady. Go in there and read some books. He's talking about Barbie Millicent Robertson and
That's true.
think in terms like that sometimes when it comes to when people trivialize what we do or people who, use this as an outlet because you don't know what they're using it for,
You really, really don't. And I like, you sent me like a visual article, and as far as like the history of Barbie. And so you want to bring that up as far as like who Barbie was really intended for?
I love that story. Don't get me wrong, because I don't want to say the name wrong. I have to look back at it, but we have the article. So if anybody wants to reference back, I'll post it up or something. But it was intended for men. It was an eye candy for them, maybe on their desk or at their home. And it was not a far cry from where Barbie Millicent was, but she just took it slightly in a different direction so it could be mass produced for children alike and not looked at just for men, because they were looking at the aesthetics of the Barbie, the top half and the bottom half and the cheeks sucked in lips and everything, so that was their thing. They wanted something very statuesque and beautiful on their desk as an eye candy. That's not what we use it for, so it was like two different spectrums of where it came from. It started there, and it's like, oh, I like that, but I could turn it into something much, much more better, magical or whatever. And she did that, and then it just turned into this big blooming flower, and then everybody just took to it in different ways.
Yeah.
It's been collectors, like, think about it. It's probably, and I don't like to say it like this. I'll say this. Elderly women and older men, I guess, have curios, if anybody knows what that is, that have the old style Victorian Barbies that are dressed in those beautiful beaded gowns, something that you would never probably remove, or it would just be sitting somewhere in a museum. And people still collect that stuff. So it's like ages of all kinds. We all love, Barbies in some way or some form or fashion. It's like from 0 to, I don't know, 100. You don't know the spectrum. Because right now, entering this doll world, I would have never thought in a million years that, going beyond 20s and especially 30s, that people are collecting in like mass groups, and like to the point where they're battling the children in the toy store, like, you're not getting this doll today, baby. Like, I'm just saying, we're wiping them out.
Yeah, we are. And I got certain goals because, I got my little kids. I got 10 of them. So I'm not able to always get as detailed with certain things the way that I want.
Yeah.
It's just, my own personal. I want to customize it this way. I want to do this. So I got certain goals in my head where I'm like, 5 years from now, you guys will be a little older. Yeah, I'll be able to do So it's like,
the reason why I can really get into this like this, my son is 17 and I only got one. So he's about to be, I still got the college stuff, but I can just go for like 5 minutes, just for 5. And then I'm back to mommy. But it's like a real big calm down because he's self-sufficient. Things don't cost me, as much anymore. Like, this stuff wouldn't exist in his time because I would have had to get all of the things that he wanted. I wasn't collecting this stuff when he was younger. So that's the reason why I have a big Hot Wheel collection, because of my son. He has all the Hot Wheels, but he doesn't open them anymore. So I wanted him to have something to look back on. And also, if he have children down the line, he can have something to share with them because it will be of value.
Yes.
And stuff like that. So he doesn't have to collect Barbies with mommy. He can collect his Hot Wheels.
There you go.
I can collect my dolls. So it's a good little trade-off. Yeah.
See, there's nothing wrong with that. And see, also, I see how your mom, what she told you has influenced you as far as having him to keep up with his stuff. So you can have it later on, because we are now learning. It doesn't take that long for things to become vintage.
Right.
And this stuff, it costs. It costs. Like when I go on eBay, I'm like, I had that doll. And keyword is had because I don't have it anymore. And now it's like $320. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Yeah. But I mean, it's worth it. It's worth it. So keep up on your stuff if you can. And you never know, because even unboxed stuff When
This
you
is
look it
how
up
we
on
do
eBay, it still works.
saving for the baby now. This is the shoe cases that we do. And Auntie keeps up with everything. I'm like the drill sergeant on her. As soon as she comes over, I'm like, which shoe would you like? And then I get them out because one time she was left alone with the case that this goes in. And I don't do rummage anything. Even with my son's clothes and stuff, I don't like peeling through stuff to look for anything. Once it's not a mess and chaos anymore and I fold it up or put things away, there is no more causing me chaos because this is how I keep it organized. This is how I find things easily and it's an easy visual for me.
Yes.
So she went and rummaged so bad one day. I said, "You're banned, Miss. You're banned." And this is what I had to do. I swear to you, I had to take like a vintage pair of shoes and take it and show her against online versus what she might have thought they cost. And she's like, "Really, for two little shoes?" I'm like, yeah, for two little shoes. So keep it up, baby. Keep up
Yeah.
with your stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you do. You have to keep up with your stuff. I always tell our kids, and Daddy does too, you keep up with your stuff, it'll keep up with you. You take care of your stuff, it'll take care of you. And that's just the bottom line too. Take care of your stuff, it will take care of you. You still want to enjoy it. You still want to have fun, but you want to do it responsibly. That's all.
We're
So,
logging her here. She's getting logged here. So the dials, she will know when they were bought, for how much, and who they are, and the year that they were made. So
wow.
that she doesn't cheat herself in being ignorant to the fact of what she has. Because it's going to be a while before she gets to an age where I'm comfortable with her having this collection. My mom, and she laughs at it because she's like, when are you going to let the collection go? And I look at her and I say, when she's 35. Like, my God, I can't see my stuff go to, garbage or get lost. It's like, I gotta watch ya.
Yeah.
She gets to have anything she wants. It's because of her a lot of the times that I have all of this stuff that I do, because the new stuff really doesn't sway me like the old stuff. As you know, I'm more of the vintage side, but I have to keep stuff fresh for her too because it's her time. So
Yes.
I do things for her too. I get those little LOL and the Bratz dolls, even though Auntie doesn't want them. I get them for her so she can have it. I love their clothes though. Don't get it twisted. We do share clothes, so.
Oh my goodness, especially the Rainbow Highs. Rainbow Highs have such nice clothes. Still doesn't match with, still doesn't really go against what, or I should say doesn't compare to the vintage clothes that Barbie has. Because the vintage clothes of Barbie is unbeatable.
It's beautiful. And I love them because the quality, the threads, the time, and the patience that they put into them. They lost their way somewhere down the line, and I don't know where. But I wish they
Well,
could.
I'm hoping that they get better. I am. With the signature dolls, I have noticed that the quality is somewhat better, but you do have to pay for it. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's still not quite like how we used to have it. You don't know how good you have it till it's gone, right?
That's why I go back and I collect. I go backwards. I don't usually go this way with all the newer stuff. I go this way. So when you see a doll and you're like, where did she come from? What's that old little face? And it's like, like I went back and collected the Lucy dolls because I love Lucy's face. So cute.
I just love Lucy, period. I love Lucy's face. I love Lucy. We got some of the DVDs. I love Lucy. I've been loving her since I was little. She's just
so cute with on the doll. And just some of her outfits I really honed in on because they're so intricate. The earrings that they put in her ear. It doesn't even compare to the one they have right now. And I know it doesn't. They're totally two different styles, the way that they made them. You can tell the quality of the vintage one versus the one that's now. It's like, the quick manufactured, but versus what we used to have with the bendy legs and, the actual double layered clothing, not printed materials, and the earrings that actually kind of real, looking.
yeah.
That's what I miss. That's what I go for. I go for those rooted eyelashes. Really, the eye thing gets me. all of those different pretty ways they've made their eyes with the shadows and their little eyelashes and stuff. I really like that. I don't try to get multiples of the same doll all the time. Like you won't see a whole lot of BeBe, you know, just keep, yeah, I'm gonna keep getting her, but I do like her face. I have collected, I think they have one that I have is the Moroccan one. I think it
Yes.
is. She has that. She's so pretty to me, but I could never play her off as BeBe. So I would have to. She would have to be another friend in the Dollyverse, you know.
There
So
you
she.
go. There you go. And now that we are talking about BeBe, how did BeBe and Cece come about? Did you
BeBe
buy them
and
as
Cece.
doubles, and then you were like, okay, she's so pretty, I'm gonna go ahead and have her as a twin, or?
Actually, no. I bought them at separate times. I bought BeBe second, and I had Cece first. I had Cece first, and I opened her last because she's a Disney Barbie, and she was still in the box. I
Wow.
bought BeBe. She was used. She's the police Barbie. So
Mm-hmm.
I bought her used, and then I said, well, I was like, my dad's a twin. I don't have a twin, but my dad's one. And I have triplets in my family. Yeah, it runs all down in that side of the family. So, yeah. So I'm like, how cool would it be to have some, like, adult twins? They don't have to be the same, you know. They could be, like, you know, just similar, but just make some twins. And I'm like, yeah. And then I was like, wait a minute. You got to focus on one. So that's when the idea came where it was like a character shift. You might have seen BeBe for a while, and then boom, Cece jumps on the scene and her little story starts taking off. But I figured you got to be fair at some point. You got to let her make her way into the story. Otherwise, she's going to get drowned out by her sister, and then it's not going to be a reason to have, quote unquote, the twins. So I tried to basically build BeBe's and DJ's story first and solidify that that character base for my page because I like this family so much. I'll still probably always favor this one because this is what started me building that house that you see all the time. So but I still love Cece because I love her shop. So you'll see her too. And she has the baby coming soon, you know, and she's gonna eventually marry Butter. So it's like, you know, I have to play fair to both sides. And then some of my friends, Leticia and Color Renee, they get on me because I don't show stink. And I made it better. Q, they get on me because I don't show stink. Oh, and Lori Barbie too. Lori Barbie loves stink. That's my favorite character. Where is she?
I know.
Stinker. She's not even. I'm like, I just gotta bring her in as a main character now. Because if you look at the top of my page, it's like home to BBCC did or BBCC and stink. So it's like she's made her way in. She's like, move over. I'm getting in here. I'm in now.
But she has a dominant personality as well. Even though she's in there in a small amount, but whenever she's in there, like I said, her personality is just very, very strong. And then, of course, you know, she hangs out with Michael Jackson. So who's going to forget?
She has a lot of attention for some reason. I'll be like, what is it about your little behind that just demands this attention just out of nowhere? I love it because it's, you know, I created her off of, I don't even know if this would have been a question for you with her, but I created her based off of Brenda from 227, because I always loved her. She was always so little and feisty and Calvin, and you gonna tell my mama, and you know she was her own personality. You could never forget her on 227, no matter what you did. So instead of saying, well, she'll just be Brenda, I called her Stink and gave her a good name, you know, in case she needed a real name. You know, everybody, because people's like, what is a Stink? What is that? I'm like, it's just a nickname. Her name is Brenda. She lives at apartment 227.
Now I see the connections. I remember you had the photo at 227. I was like, oh, 227. But
yeah, you got it. See how it all just ties in.
I like that.
All those brain ideas just go pouring in.
There you go. And like you said, you're able to put all of your love, all your passion, your ideas, the things that you enjoy right into your universe. And that's what our dog community is supposed to be. That's what our page is supposed to be. putting
Yeah.
what we enjoy into it. So I
Yeah,
like that.
definitely. Definitely. I love doing it with different dolls because I don't always like to just have BB&D all the time. I think it just, I don't want to say it waters the page down. It doesn't give it all its life to me. Other dolls have to come in and break up the monotony, if that makes any sense.
That does. That makes sense. And it actually goes right into the next question as far as like, how do you choose your characters?
Well, a lot of it plays off now with the flower shop and that boutique. It was the diner. The diner was breaking like a lot of people in because you just have a couple come sit and have a drink or hey, we hanging out. So I could just introduce people that way. Or now that it's the flower shop and the boutique, I can have people stop by the flower shop and I can create a little story off of that, like, hey, new neighbor stopped by, saw the new shop, loved it, new flowers, whatever I wanted to say. And the boutique is really fun. The reason why I love, love, love the boutique is because it's so colorful. And then I can interchange the pieces how I want. I'll give credit to my niece for that because I asked her when I was building it, should I, glue anything down? And she said, no, because it'll be easier for you to get around everything and move stuff around. And I was like, that is a good idea. So it's such an open and broad space and so many angles that I can look, from that I see personally. I don't know, somebody might see two boards and a floor. They're like, how much are you gonna get out of that? But I see top, side, bottom, floor, in the corner,
Yes.
sort of like Life in the Doldrum. She sees stuff in so many different spectrums. And it's like, it's her eyeball. It's that eyeball doing that for you. So it's like the same thing for me. Some people like me when I peek through the window thing, and they're like, I really like how you peek through the window.
I like it.
Okay, don't think I'm the perv. I'm just getting the view from
Different
the
perspective. Yes. Yes. And it lets
don't
us
think
as
it's
the
negative.
audience feel like we're looking in. So I do. I like those whenever you do those different perspectives, and then you have like your fitting room area.
Yeah.
You just really do a very good job with. I mean, I like all your photos with your flower shop. I've noticed you do that actually outside, so you get like this beautiful natural light.
Yes, I took it in and out, but you're right. Outside is better. I was able to pick up the nature sounds and stuff because when I played it back, I said, "Well, listen at that. That sounds good." And then I got the little buggy too. I was like, "This is so cool! Hey, little buggy!"
I love it. I love
like I was teaching the kids something that day. I'm like, "Look, we got a friend." I loved it. I loved it. It was so nice. You should have saw me. I was hopping the fence, trying to look in the grass, finding little flowers and stuff. I'm like, oh, this looks like a flower. Oh, this looks interesting.
Wow.
Let me get that. Yeah, because I don't have any tiny real flowers to, So like it might be something growing somewhere off in the wherever. And as long as it's not like a dandelion looking thing, all nasty and buggy, like I'll take it and I'll do some pictures really quick before it dies, and then I'll toss it out just to give it a more realistic look, for the flower shop anyway. So
it does. I like it. Oh, and I told you I had liked it, but yeah, I do. I like it. And have you ever had an interest with fashion?
I do. I love fashion. I love dressing myself. So it probably showing these dolls because I be like, the reels be turning. I was laughing listening to one of your other lives because you were saying something about how long it takes to actually set up for pictures and all that stuff. And you get into it and you like 2 hours later, you like, if he just keep his arm, if he just keep his arm, just please.
Yes. Yes. It's so very true. Your thought in the very beginning is like 30 minutes, and then it's not like that at all.
Exactly. So that's why I can't even go through a lot of clothes changes because I will be here all week long. I have to, like, sometimes the last couple months, I was dressing them the night before. That's how much trouble it was giving me. Like, I'm like, you guys got to get dressed like you're really going to work because you're working me. I'm like, between you, BeBe, that baby, and dressing D and trying to have you come together cohesively. You know? So I'm
But
like,
they always look so sharp, for real. They always look good. And you always keep baby just looking. I don't know. Where do you get his clothes from? Yes. Where do you get his clothes
from I usually go on anywhere from Mercari to Etsy to eBay, or in the what do you call, like, we go in the stores and get the little, secondhand stuff, the secondhand stores. But mostly a lot of the stuff I have to find online for him, because he is like a part of that Kelly line. So it's so hard to find clothes for him because he wasn't a popular character for her. They actually phased him out right along with her, but she always got all the shine. She always got all the outfits and everything, and he would get like one little outfit and one little pair of shoes. So it's like, when I'm collecting for him, especially, I have to do a lot of gender neutral things as far as Kelly is concerned, because a lot of her stuff is flower and pink and, set like colors for girls. So if there's anything like any dark jeans or anything like khaki that could be neutral,
Mm-hmm.
he has it. But trust me, it is super hard. And
So
this is how I fix that problem. I'm sorry, baby, but I have to do this. I have to tell this secret, and I'm sorry. My sorry.
What do you do?
He has to play the background when he cannot match mom and dad. He has to stay at home or go be with auntie or someone else, because it makes me feel bad to leave him out of the picture. But I refuse to make him look like an outcast when I'm trying to make them look like one cohesive set. Now, it's not always. Sometimes I'll match him and dad, him and mom, or maybe they'll have their own thing going on one day. But it's more or less likely that they will be dressed alike, as you see.
Yes.
Yep. So
Look at them.
yes. So yeah, I get them.
They always look sharp. They always.
Yeah, but thank you so much. I love dressing them. They're my favorite to dress, especially her, because I get to, she's the main character, so I can show any and everything on her. I am very choosy though, and she's really spoiled because she gets mainly most of the vintage pieces. And I try to be nice, and I'll be like, I'll get something like this, and I'll say, I'll think about putting it on somebody else, but I won't commit to it though. I'm not going to commit, BeBe.
It's like that though. It really is. But I like, now when it comes to them as a couple, I like how they work together, and how sometimes BeBe can kind of pop off at her mouth with them, and he's like, okay. Exactly. He just lets her kind of do her thing, and he's okay with it. So I like that you have that aspect, because I believe oftentimes, and I'm just going to put it out there, I believe oftentimes when we look at TV movies and TV shows and series, and we see Black couples, we see Black men as being almost in opposition to their woman. We don't see enough of us being married, one.
Right.
Then we do,
to me. I'm glad you bring that up. Very important.
We really don't see enough of our people being married. Then whenever we do see them, they're in opposition to each other. They're angry at each other. There's not a real, like strong support, a support group, them being able to function as a whole. So I love the factor being that even whenever she is taking an authoritative position, he's okay with it. Yeah. Because he knows that mama's going to give him some good loving. Because we see that later on.
Your mama tripping.
She's a police officer, and so he's like, she has to have a more aggressive personality. Yeah. And he's okay with that. So I like that you have that. Because we don't see them.
Thank you. Thank you for noticing that. Because I do like that about her. I do. I do. So, it's a very strong career to have, so she can't be like a really timid female cop, in my opinion. So I keep her soft. I keep her delicate, and still lovey-dovey with her husband, but it's still like the check-in, like, hey, look, bro, you're doing too much, sir. Gotta do it. It wouldn't be nothing but me. I have to pour a little piece of my personality into that. That's just how I am. They know.
There you go. Now, did you have to research about her being a police officer? Do you know someone that's a police officer, so it made it easier to do?
I have a family member that is a police officer, and I kind of was thinking about it when I was younger. Did I want to be one, or did I want to be a nurse? And I reached more towards the nursing side and went into school and stuff for that. But the whole thing about it for the Barbie fascinated me more than anything, more or less because you always see the male cops. You don't see a lot of female cops. And then I got to researching it, like you said, and I'm like, well, what uniform did they offer her? Because they always have all of these Barbies that are career driven dolls. And I know that they had some starting from, back in our times before they started all this today. So I was looking and I found that uniform, but of course it was used on her. So I had no idea everything that it came with. It comes with a certificate. It comes with a canine dog, a
What?
whistle. Yeah, it comes with a lot. It also comes with like a day to night dress, but it's like I will refuse to buy it again because I don't want to, I don't want it right now. If I do it, maybe down the line so my niece can see where it originated from, but it's not of importance right now to me. But I do, like, one thing I do for her is when I see a vintage piece or something that I don't know where it came from, and I might be shopping around and I see it in a package that's new, I'll screenshot the picture. And then so I can write down like that little number or code or whatever it is that they always place in with the name. Because
Yeah.
I can't recognize that stuff if someone just said it, like, this is Happy Days, clothes. I'm not gonna know that that's what this is. So it's like I have to have a visual guide for myself. One, because it's exciting to me to get things from my past that I may or may not have and identify it. That's what's real cool to me.
Yes.
And for her to be able to know, because it could be a time that I'm not around or that she couldn't find it. Because certain stuff people have to tell me, hey, this came from when I was, that's this doll, that doll. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's great to know. I didn't know I had that.
Yes.
So yeah, that's kind of a big thing for me in identifying some of my pieces and knowing what I have, because I do that for two reasons. Because I want to know, and because I want to know the value of something I have and not give it away, or trade it off for something that is less of value, than what it was going for now or whatever later. I definitely don't want to do that. And I don't want her to do that either, because she'll just be saying like, oh, you can have this whole bag of clothes for $5. I'll be like, really? Resurface from the
You take your whole collection back. I do.
So yeah.
I understand you. I understand you. That makes a whole lot of sense. Knowing the value of what you're paying and being able to really research it. And then, if anything, it makes you even connect more with what you have.
Right.
Part of taking care of what you have, being able to know where it comes from, the value of it. Is this something that if you were to let go of it, would it be worth letting go? You know what I mean? Or trading it, whatever the case is. Because if it's something of great value, you may want to hold on to it.
Like, think about it. Like, how our black dolls are. Not for nothing, but they are like far and in between. You can go to any doll show you want. You can even get online right now. And a lot of them are very overpriced for something that you've seen for $20 or $15 when you were a kid. Of course, we know inflation. We're not crazy, but I'm not going to look at this doll and say, yeah, I'm going to pay $75 for this. No, I don't want to do that. So I'm going to do a bit of research and, find. There are some that, might be worth that much because they might have come with something like real diamonds or few that were produced, like maybe 20 or something like that, then you can
Yeah.
step back and say, okay, you know what? I will do that. I will get this doll. I will get this piece, you know, because it's people out here that will spend $150 on a couch and someone will look at them starstruck, like, what are you thinking? But in the long run, that couch took them a long way because it's a vintage piece or it's a very sought after piece, and they can now ask for a big amount of money, you know?
Yeah.
So it's hard to say what you want to put a value on sometimes because I love my dolls. I don't want to just willy-nilly sell them off or give them away. I've went through that pain before, and I really, this time I found like a different newfound respect for
Yeah.
my things, for my dolls, in the way that I collect them, how much money I spend because it's me spending this time, not my mom and dad. And because I'm trying to instill something in my niece as well, that no matter what I can get or cannot get, take care of it, whether it's 1, 20, or 100, because she gets to asking me. I have a box of them, a storage box of them that are closed up, still in the box. I don't. They're
Okay.
all just being collected up through the years for her. So for the
Okay.
last 2.5 years, I've been just collecting Barbies, certain ones that I want. It's not just like I'm like, yeah, I just want every Barbie style there is. No, like I said, I backwards collect. So I'm collecting stuff that either you might not have seen or you don't remember or that she doesn't even have any recollection of. Like is it Shanny dolls, I think it was at a time?
Yes. And they only had like 3 of those. They had the 3
I
different face
think so.
modes.
Yes. And I have one in a box with her whole little pretty African outfit on. And one day I was like, I'm going to take it out. And I'm like, something just was like, no, don't do it. Because I have one of her already. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to do it because I want my niece to see how it was when I had it when I was young. They do not have those out anymore. You can't
No,
really find them at
it's
all. And
very
if they are,
fun.
they're overpriced. You wouldn't believe I got it in a lot. A lady sold me a lot for $20 with the white horse with that gold thing that you saw. BeBe was on it for her birthday.
Uh-huh.
And I got all these vintage clothes and that brand new box with that Shanny doll came in there. And my mouth was just on the floor for the first few minutes when I saw it because I'm like, $20, $20, $20. What do you mean? $20 for the doll or $20 for the horse or $20 for the clothes? Because sometimes people do funny stuff. They'll list something just to reel you in and be like, you know, each piece is $20 or each
True.
this. So when I saw that, I was like, it's so quick because it was something that really spoke to my childhood that I really wanted and that I wanted for her to have and to
Yeah.
know, especially when the face mold started to change over and the different makers of the Barbies. Some of our Black creators, some of the white creators, they all are very, very talented. I
Yeah.
love them all. I really do. But it's hard for her to have a wide spectrum of Barbies if all she sees is the ones that's produced from now.
That's
All
true.
that you see in Target, all that you see online, you know, 9 times out of 10, you're going to see everything that we keep going to collect right now. Everybody doesn't go backwards. I'm not saying nobody does because I can go to hundreds of accounts and they got all these vintage Barbies and I love it.
Yeah.
But it's still, you got the people that are in the now. I have to have the new Barbie. I want the new stuff. I want the latest Barbie. They're so cute. I love the face mode. I love Millie, Millie, Millie. They'll keep paying for that when I just want to collect this.
And that's the wonderful thing about the doll community is that we each have our own flavor, our own, just like you said earlier, our own individual ways that we do our art and we do our hobby. And I think that that's something that's very unique to who you are. Like you said, there's other, accounts that also, go back as well. I have some old pieces, or I should say some old dolls as well. I don't really have as many of my old ones because they end up getting the mice got to them in the attic space, so I didn't get a chance to save those. Yeah, I didn't get to save those. But like you said, the faces of our vintage dolls. I mean, it's it's an incomparable situation, you know, because right now we do have more of the pixelated faces, and like you said, they're mass produced, and so it's nothing against where metallic is, but it does, you know, it makes you hold on to what once was, and that's why when we go on eBay, we pay all that money. But not unless you can get a lot like you just did, or you did, and you were able to get.
Lucky just scrolling
$20.
one of those faint sleep 2:00 in the morning scroll.
Yeah, and that doesn't happen that often. That just doesn't. So, you know, whenever you get something like that, it makes it even more of a treasure because the face molds just are not made like they used to be. And of course, we have different artists now. Technology's different. The hunger and thirst of doll collectors is different. You know, you've got so many people, especially since the pandemic hit, who are now like, hey, I'm ready to get in touch with my childhood. And so now I'm going to join the doll community. You know, I don't mind. I was against it at first, but now why not? So you got more people who are involved in the doll community and they want the dolls now. So, you know, the collector, I mean, the designers are kind of, they almost have to use technology compared to doing things by hand. It's just, it's different. But
I wish they
could
could,
go back and get the old ones do it.
You know, the people, the artists that we see, you know, in the accounts that do the OOAKs. So it's like you wish so bad that they would just hire a string of those people to just work, and then their computers could mass produce their work out. Because their eye work, the hair and everything, you want your dolls sometimes to look as realistic as possible sometimes. Sometimes we like them to play the big eyes, you know, the big blue eyes, whatever, and the blonde hair. It's fine, but, you know, going to her, the way her eyes look, even the slants and, you know, the makeup and stuff, she's really a beautiful doll. They should know by the way that they did her eye makeup and everything and how everybody took to her so fast. She's like the number one besides the two guys, you know, and then comes, I guess, the little Chinese, the little small one, and then comes the tall one, or either the Latino one and then the tall one. So it's like, you know, everybody has their taste and their flavor on the dolls. I don't per se like to see the pixelation because I think it's like just spewing a product out real quick at us, and it's like you're not even taking the time to see if what people complain about. The eyes being wonky. Where's the quality check? You know, if we're paying this money, because we are the adults now, it's not about children in this world anyway. You want to see what you pay for. You don't want to get what I saw. One person had, it was hair threaded through the ear.
Yeah, I did see that.
I'm like, what's going on here? What is that about? I'm like, that was a rush part. It could have been accident, but still, quality check would have caught that, because still a collector might not want to see that. You know, they want theirs to be as perfect and pretty as possible, and that's what they pay for, and that's what you say you're going to give them. You know, but it seems as though, like, for instance, my Brie and India characters, their feet are different. Someone asked me, it's like, how could you get her shoe on her foot? I said, in all honesty, I didn't have a problem with it. I said, and then I put the two ladies together. And I'm like, do you have a different made to move foot on your foot? It's not even the skinny foot. It's not this foot at all. It's not that one. It's the thicker foot. But it's like something happened in the molding right up in here that is more flatter. It's not as humped or thick, so it allows the shoe to go on there better on the doll, on her better than it does the other one that I did the Bantu knots in. Because I was confused when the person asked me that. I'm like, I just put the shoe on, but then I had to compare the two and look and, you know, really pay attention to if it was a manufacturer's issue. And I'm like, well, in this instance, I really don't have a problem with it because I like for the thicker dolls to be able to fit in those shoes. We have a tough time. I hate it because it gives you such a small selection of what you can pick from. You wind up tearing up some of your shoes thinking it might have been the right fit, and it's like, yes, you just wear gym shoes today.
I know. When it comes to the shoe selection and the clothing selection for curvy, it could be stepped up, definitely. It's hard for me because a lot of my dolls are curvy, and I love curvy. I'm curvy, so I want to be able to have them wear clothing that's just as adorable and cute and functional, just like my other dolls do. And when it comes to the shoes, I'm like, come on now. They get gym shoes for everything. But yeah, it is. It is kind of frustrating because you do want them to dress up and be able to, do their thing and look fashionable just like the other dolls. And I'm trying to understand, like, why did we create a curvy doll but then not create the clothes and the shoes that's going to, help bring out her personality more? And so we said all this because I'm sure someone may be like, how does this all fit the storyline? It fits the storyline because the quality of your doll will also bring out the personality of your doll. And just like you said, if a collector gets a doll and they're really expecting, if you're doing storyline and you're really expecting that this doll is going to come and this is going to be the mother of my, if my main dolls and the doll comes in and the quality is not there, it can really kind of disturb you on how you're going to bring out that doll's personality. Am I going to send her back? Am I, I've seen people, they get really, it's frustrating. This is my second doll, this is my third doll, and it's still not where I want it to be. And so you can delay your storyline. It can make it where, you just kind of go, forget it. I don't think I'm going to deal with the mother, but yet you still hear the storyline for the mother in your head, and you're like, well, how can I do this? How can I do this if I don't really have a doll? Yeah, that represents who I need for my storyline. So the quality of the doll matters. It really does for us as storyline writers.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. And it does show. It does.
And we do have a few questions. I don't want anyone to think that we're not focused in on the questions. And you got some comments too. So let's see.
Please.
We have My Froggy Stuff who says, has anyone tried a foot transplant? So that would be for you or anyone who's on here. I have not. So I can't
per se do foot transplants because I don't have good luck with that. For instance, with BeBe's hand movements, I don't know what it is about the made to moves that's mass produced, but those little joints right up in here they really break so easily.
Yes.
So one time I pulled off the hands to do something with the cuffs and toward the, so that was the end of that. And sometimes like you're getting the shoe on and it'll go push the foot in further. I don't know if you've ever heard that little sound and you're like, okay, I need to pull it out, but you almost see like the beginning of white starting to separate the plastic, almost like it's getting ready to break because you're bending it so much. Sometimes that happens with the joints. You don't know, you might be putting that pressure on it, changing the shoe or trying to pull it off. And that's where I draw the line with it. If I can't get the shoe on, or if I'm looking at it like her foot's too long or her foot's too bulky or it's a flat foot or it's one of those arched foots. Usually the vintage Barbies are the only ones you're never gonna have a problem with getting their foot in the shoe. So
that's true. Or if you have the articulated doll that's not a made to move. So like the articulated, that leg is and the foot is pretty much stationary. There isn't any bending at all. Then you can kind of, put the shoe on, put the shoe off. But when you have that ankle, you have to be so very careful. I got some characters right now. You'll see them without any shoes, and so I have written in their storyline that they, I don't like shoes on. When I come in the house, I like to take my shoes off, and people, they'll comment and be like, "Oh, I'm like that too. I don't like having my shoes on." But my thing is, I'm not trying to mess up my doll's feet.
That's the reason. That is so funny. Yeah, that's pretty good.
So yeah, we'll just write that in the storyline. She doesn't like having shoes on, but yeah, I don't want to mess up their feet because it is delicate. It is so delicate.
Very delicate.
My oldest daughter, her, I don't know if one of my other kids did it or if she dropped and her arm came off. I don't know. Well, her hand came off, and that's why I know about that bar.
Yeah,
we talked about that. Once it it disconnects.
It's over. And then you got to go out and buy a whole nother $20 body, or you got to, take one off of somebody else or go buy some hands extra. Listen, I got enough stuff going on over here with these extra body transplants and all this stuff. I can't afford to do it. I
know. Yeah, so we haven't done the foot transplant. You do have a few questions about Tommy. Which Tommy did you have? And
Which
that is
time
from
is that for
the
this
Wicked
guy?
Drive.
You mean for the baby?
Yes.
Barbie doll. I bounced between two. I had to change the body. Not too long ago, I found the ones with the bendable legs, but that was it was the female ballerina I took it from. Because it's very hard to match the Happy Family Tommy. There is no match that I know of in the Kelly doll world that matches him. If anybody knows, it could be a Rapunzel one or something like that. I'm not sure, but the particular Happy Family face mold, I think they only made his face like that for the Happy Family and possibly the Rapunzel, maybe, but they did not make that many different variations of his face. So I
Okay.
already had one, but I had that, they were a set, the original one and this guy were a set together. And when I took them out the set, I just kept them that way. But then I was like, well, I want DJ to be able to have some more articulation movement. So then I went and, did the little switcheroo, and I'm like, wait a minute, your body doesn't match your color. I'm like,
Um,
no. So of course I had to switch my guy up and just do a little alteration to his face. So it's all the same, but yeah, it's either Rapunzel. He's in a little costume, like a little, I guess, the Rapunzel suit or something like that. And then the other ones are the Happy Family. I'm not gonna say that it's easy to find him in the Happy Family, especially not in the box. I just saw him the other day, and I think somebody was charging like $100 for. I think it was the white version of it. So
wow.
yeah, usually Happy Family, you know how that goes. You can't.
Happy Family. Oh my goodness, you almost don't find it any less than 100. Just honestly, you almost don't find it any less than that.
I was able to find him about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. No, it was about two and a half years ago. He was about like $50 plus shipping. So it was a decent deal compared to what I saw. They want like 100 for the mom, 150 for the grandparents and their house or something like that. I'm not into it. I don't need to collect all of that bad. I would like to have it to finish it off, but it was more or less about me getting him because that little boy that's in there, it's hard to find the Tommy dolls, like I said. But
It
if anybody's
is.
looking for any Tommy dolls, I would say check eBay and I
Mm-hmm.
would check Mercari. And a lot of people finding them in the thrift shops and stuff. I'm really surprised. I mean, it just depends on where you live because everybody has different, amounts of stuff that's because mine's just like it looks like the war zone. Like everybody just took everything and just threw it everywhere. And I'm like, where's the dolls? And they're like, what? I'm like the toys? I'm like, am I crazy here? So yeah, and then I go in others, and then it's a big bucket, and you can pull it down, and it's like all these Barbies, like, oh, look at all these Barbies. So you just never know. You never know, because I've bought some really good vintage pieces and dolls, and I've seen dolls still in the box and stuff at the shop. So, you just have to really keep your eye out, especially like on Mercari and eBay, where you can set those little reminders or put those little I guess it's for your favorite things or what you might be looking for or something like that. It'll
Okay.
have a little bell that'll keep dinging you every time someone, tries to sell that particular item. So the main thing I guess I'm doing right now with him is just basically looking for clothes. But I'm almost caught up. I think I'm missing like maybe 3 or 4 sets that he has, but I would have to buy the Kelly, which I don't mind buying the Kelly, but I'm not using her right now. The funny thing is I have way more Kelly clothes than I have Tommy, and it's so sad. It is so sad 'cause I'm like,
They don't have enough clothes. I mean, even right now with the newer ones, they don't have enough boy clothes.
I don't like those clothes because they're attached. You see his clothes, like everybody was asking, a few people were asking about his little jacket.
Yes, and that was what the next question. Well, one of the other questions. What that Tommy wearing the investigator outfit? So they're trying to find out if he had an
This
investigator
is
outfit.
the detective outfit. This is the detective Tommy outfit and the little shoes that comes with it. They're cute. Cute little bronzy shoes
Those
and
are
a
cute.
cute little hat.
Those are cute.
But it's like this comes from our time. So you see how they actually put something into it. They might have not put the double stitching layer because you don't need all that for Tommy, but just for them to even make up something like this for him. Nowadays they're painting it on or they're stitching them together. I like to be able to say, hey, you got underwear, you got pants, you got
Yes.
socks, you got a shirt, you got, one day I might want him to run out to it with his little underwear on. Mommy, he can't have it painted on.
I know. It's true. It's
Yeah.
true.
Yep, that's what that was.
Now, the other one that I've always liked, and of course, it's hard to find, and I don't have them because of the attic situation with the Hart family.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
another one where those babies were
They're
adorable.
so cute with their little chunky butts.
The clothes, they could come off, and they were so cute, but you can't find them. I'm not saying you can't. It's just very, very hard. They're rare.
It's really hard. It's really hard. They're on Macari. I see them every now and then. I do see a lot of the vintage pieces that they're selling with them though, like the crib, the bassinet, the high chair. I actually saw. I didn't know they made an amusement park for them. So they had a little amusement park for them. Yeah, like I guess Disney trip or something. I don't know. It's so cute. When you don't hone in on that particular collection, you don't see all that they have available. So it's like every time I see some, I'm like, oh.
And of course, we didn't have eBay and stuff back then.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have internet. We had dial up when we we were at the very beginning of it.
Right. That's so we
now
need to appreciate.
Yeah, you just see and you're like, oh wow, I didn't know that was there. And we would have to hung out at Toys R Us every day to be able to see the whole vast amount.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now we got a chance to do it.
I'm gonna have to send you that link that I found that if you're looking for like the complete collection of whichever like Kelly or all the Tommies or all of the Picnic Barbie stuff.
Yes.
That I found so that I could identify everything that I had without searching online. Okay, what's this? I'm gonna find that link for you because it's loads of information of all the vintage pieces and stuff like that. So even if you ever thought you might have had a piece, you can identify it. Because a lot of times I might have a skirt or a shirt or a jacket or, a shoe. And I'm like, where did this come from? And I find out I'm looking at something at 2 o'clock in the morning like, oh my God! So it's crazy.
And then you get the rest of it, So yes, I appreciate that. I do. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Listen, Barbzworld, he said, making me about to run to eBay. That's true.
He loves my fashions. I love my baby. He loves everything. He thinks I'm so posh with my vintage, which I love because he's fashion. He's very fashion.
So that's an AA Ballerina Kelly.
The body is. The body, it is. It's the one she has. I think it's a blue tutu and a like a see-through blue little bottom cover up, and she has like a silver crown sewed into her hair. It's really like it's soft. It's not a hard crown.
Okay.
She's really pretty. I wanted to leave her the way she was, but I needed that body.
I know, right? I know how that goes. I do. And you just like, I want to keep the doll, but in the same hand, this is who I'm attached to. This is my main character. Mm-hmm. He's a new body.
Yes.
What Tommy doll was that? He is so cute. And you've already addressed that. But he is so cute.
Thank you so much. Happy family buddy.
Let's see here. Danny, Poppy, and Barbie said it was good in the flower shop scenes.
Outside. Oh, thank you so much. I love my little flower shop. And guys, I get on myself sometimes because I always look at other people's open scenes. And I don't have the storage set up for that, where everybody's able to build in an open space. So, of course, a friend of mine is like, you're going to build in compact. Why are you doing so compact? I'm like, well, for one, it's a space saver, and I build how you would see an apartment. If you ever go in an apartment and they give you a brochure, and you open the brochure and you see the diagram, that is how I build. The wall, how you see, you know, the room 1, room 2, kitchen, this. I see
Exactly.
my stuff from an aerial view. So that's how I would plan out how I'm going to build. I would get all, if that was a question, I'm going to just say it right now really quick. When I'm thinking about my idea, it's usually something that has bothered me in my sleep and won't leave me alone. That's how that house got built. And that's how that shop got built and everything else that you see. Um, but I do a lot of research with buying materials, especially from like Michael's or Hobby Lobby or a Family Dollar or especially Dollar Tree. I'm always in there looking for something. I'm a gluttony for punishment, I swear. I'm like, I don't need that eraser. Yes, I do. Yes, you do. That's just $5. That's just $3. And it just gets
That's how
bad.
they get you.
And then I just have all this stuff accumulated. And then it's like a puzzle piece. It just starts going together. But I have to have it. I have to really feel it because I don't like putting together stuff rushed or forcibly because it won't come out right.
That's true.
So I have to really enjoy it. I have to really put my thought and detail into it because I didn't always start out with a blueprint. I just built. And then now sometimes I start like Travis, you guys don't get to see him much. He's the one with that real beard or whatnot. He's the one that dated Cece first and did her wrong. So he has his own man cave. I built him probably last year sometime. And I don't share it or show it often because I'm just not really on that character right now. But when I was building it, I was like, I don't want to do it like how I was doing it before, where the ideas are just flying out my head. I said, I need to get this down. I need to jot this down like what you say. You know, get you a journal, put it down, get the ideas out your head, kind of format it, and then you can even look back and reference to it later. Like, hey, this is, I use 2x4, the measurements or however. And I was able to, and I enjoyed that because I was able to look back and say, man, you skipped out on this idea and you crossed this one out and you added this one. I'm like, okay, that's good. Well, it came together pretty good. I know it didn't come together like that diagram, but it came together pretty good. So, yeah, so I do enjoy that. I enjoy journaling. I enjoy jotting my ideas down. Good. One thing I do is with names, when the name comes to me, and I swear it could be like middle of the day, I could be cooking something, Janet, there it is. And I'll put it down on the post-it and stick it on my desk. Your name is Janet. And it's like I'll go for days and days until I can figure it out. But it's all in the process of me jotting it down to get my character together. Because I have people sitting out dressed probably for 2.5 months now.
Okay.
A shame, but they're ready to go. But I just felt like the time wasn't right, or they didn't have their name, or the name I gave them, I just felt in here it didn't fit. Because trust me, everybody that has their name, I don't just throw it at them willy-nilly. I sat on it. I thought about it. Even the way I spell her name, it's not the regular India. It's capital N apostrophe DEA. You know, so it's like I'm trying to give them their own personality. I'm trying to give it, my own little vibe on them, the way they look, the way they are, because everybody has all these Barbies and you're like, who am I looking at? And who am I looking at? You got to be able to identify sometimes. And that's my way of getting you to identify with my characters. The reason why I call them BeBe and Cece and D, you go BCD. It's easy to remember.
Oh my goodness. I didn't even recognize that until right now when you said that. Oh, I like it. I like it.
So it's easy for me to remember because when I was making them up, I was like, oh, I want to keep trying to remember who everybody is. And I'm like, okay, give them good names. And I always love BeBe and Cece Winans. Couldn't understand why. I thought they were married.
You're from Detroit. Their family is from Detroit too. My mom used to song for them a long time ago. I
was enamored by watching those two perform. For some reason, I just be like, oh my God, I wish I was their sister. I just love them so much. Just them two for some reason. And that is it. Is Cece? Is it the girl? She's Cece, right? Her face is like pumpkin pie to me. I swear to God, I just love those cheeks and how she sings and the smile. She got a smile like you, just pretty, lighting up the room. And so it just came to me. It's like, ain't no BeBe and Cece. That'll work.
Right.
That's cute.
I love it.
It doesn't have to be boy and girl, but that'll work. And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna stick with that. I like that. And then I said, well, what are we gonna name the husband? And the reason, I'll give you the reason why I have not displayed or showed or said these names yet is because
Mm-hmm.
I have not picked out or stuck with
His
a
full name.
favorite. I'm between two names and I can't seem to just focus on one, so he just stays D.
D.
Just so I don't have to. One day I'll say his whole name and it'll mesh perfectly. And I have it, but it's like, not just yet. Not just yet. You know, for
Probably feel
everybody.
like when you get his full name, when you do decide, you could probably like throw out a post with like some few clues, and when we have to like guess it,
That would be cool. That would be cool. That would be cool.
just get us all involved. Like, is it Dwayne? Is it?
Yeah, you know.
But yeah. We have so many different people that we meet who go by the name D. You just really don't think about it. It's like, oh, okay, well that's cool. His name's D.
Yeah.
But yeah, it works. It works for his personality, and it works in the real world because we've encountered people who just go by D, and that's
So
what
that
we
was
do.
in my character name, and if that was a question for anybody, like how do you come up with your names and things of that nature, I really try to give them a name that I want them and I feel like they need to have. Not to say it's like super serious, like I'm a crazy person or something, but
No,
I just feel like because I have so many, once I open them, that name stays usually. I
yes,
don't switch it. Even if I phase the character out, I might not plan on showing it. I might not show it again, but I'm always going to identify with that character being that
name.
name. I have a whole nother family actually that I had before D and them. It was, and I love them so much. I'll probably bring them back out. It was Julia Jackson, Jaxson. I named their son Mad Max. He
Oh,
was Jacob, and I named their daughter Juju. She was
all
Juliana. So, and then they had the
Mad
grandmother.
Max was from our movie, right? Back in the day.
Which one?
Was that from the Mad Max movie?
Yes, and I love because I took him. Now, if you guys would have saw that Tommy Doll, I could have answered that really well. He was the one that came from. Is it the lion? The Wizard of Oz or something like that. He has that spiky hair all over his head. The Tommy that I used. He has this spiky orange hair, and he came with the lion's costume. So I don't know if he's just like for Halloween or something like that. But I took his hair. You know how everybody likes to reroot or do, the different little hairstyles and everything. And so I
Yes.
took his hair out from the side, and I gave him a mohawk, and I put some more of the hair back on the side so it would look like he had a little baby mohawk. So he became Mad Max. So
Oh,
he
goodness.
was so cute. I love that family. I'll bring them back. I really will. I had to phase them out because I wanted to bring BB and D and everybody and build the house. So they had already had this whole thing going, and I'm like, that's not the direction I want to go in. So like you said, sometimes you feel something, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you want to do a character shift, and that's just when it all happened. Because in honesty, theirs was a larger family I would have had to focus on. They had two kids and a little baby, a little tiny baby. So that's a bigger diorama, more clothes, more dressing, more stories. So I'm like, you know what? I think I'm just gonna have one kid. That's why Cece stayed without a baby so long. Cause I'm like, I can't focus on all these children. I got my own. So
I
yeah.
know.
That's how everything came along. But anybody have any more questions they want to ask? I would love to answer.
Now I do have one more question. I have a few, but another question: do you script ahead of time, or do you kind of just type your dialogue as you go?
Sometimes I'll say this because I don't really write them all down like that. I may write one or two if it's something that I'm just really working on and I don't want to forget. But usually, I'll tell you the secret how I get them dressed and how I come up with their story. First, it starts with her and what she's going to wear. Then it goes down the line because they all have to either eventually match her or something like that. And based on the way that she's dressed is how the story will go.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I just really feel it because I'm a fashion person. So one day I could be feeling like tomboy. The next day I could be feeling dressy. The next day I could want to just tone it down with jogging pants, you know. So I filter that into the dolls the way I come. I don't do it like everybody else. Some people may write it down, which is fine. Some people may have it, you know, logged at how they want to talk about the story. Some people may jot little ideas down. It's all a good creative outlet. It's just that that's the way I feel is best naturally coming out of me, because I don't do like you guys write stories, like long stories, and give the person a real deep substance. I might just say a couple snappy lines and then I'm moving on to the next day, you know. But everybody has their different way of how they want to get their character stories out there. And I'm like, I get short stories. Does that make any sense?
Yes.
Story. So I guess they are the long story short. So it's a lot of short stories.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, most likely because the world is still, BeBe and Cece, and you said you're going to bring back Stink and D, and now Butter's in there. So they're always going to be at the center of your universe, the center of your storyline. But in the same hand, you're able to kind of get through their story or whatever events that they have going on quicker because your posts are going to be shorter. You're going to have 2-3 posts on whatever events going on or whatever's going on in the shop, and then you're able to go forward. And there are some, honestly, real talk, there are some advantages to doing it with the short captions in the shop because then you got the long ones. It's like, oh, I'm gonna have them go to this event or I'm gonna do this, and you're like, oh wait, they're still at the spa or they're still, you know what I mean? So I was like, I gotta kind of move the story along. And some people are able to, even with the longer posts and the more dialogue, they're able to still get that thing done. But for me, I still have life going on. Like I said, I got 10 little babies, and I'm writing, and I got this, and I got that, and I got this class right here, and my husband and I. So
I commend you because
thank you. But yeah, it's still a lot to balance, and so I don't always get them out of the spa or from.
Yeah, you guys just be there for just a couple days, a couple hours. You'll be all right.
Yeah, it's been 2 weeks. That was a nice sauna, wasn't it?
Here we go. Don't worry about it. Come on back,
So it takes a little bit longer. So whenever you get the shorter one, I feel that there's still a lot of value in that, because since we're dealing with the same dolls, we still get that substance. We're still getting in contact and relating to the personality of your dolls. Mm-hmm. We're able to see them transition in their storyline sooner. So I think that is honestly a huge positive. And there may be some great positives as well whenever you have like the longer dialogue like me. So I'm not saying I'm not bashing mine. It's just that whenever you do have it shorter, we're just talking about pros and cons.
You're like I don't want to say his name wrong because I hate saying people's dolls' names counts wrong and they feel like, God, you could at least remember my name. I think it's English Chronicles.
Yes.
So he does a lot of storytelling strictly. He doesn't take pictures for clothes or fashion or any of that. His dioramas are pretty much his basis of his stories and how it'll play out. He has a lot of nice characters. He has a lot of, or he or she or them. I think it's a duo of them or a little team or something that does all of the story and character line. And I really like that about his page because like I said, everybody has their thing with fashion and storylines, but he's like you. He's carrying the story from different days, and you might still be on that same the same background or the same clothes or the same story for a couple of days with him, opposed to somebody like me. Short story is like, okay, today we're doing this, tomorrow we're eating pancakes. And you're like, okay, Johnny was on the mountaintop and then he slid down on his leg. Everybody has different stuff that they want to hear and see. They get full off this stuff. They have so much to take in. And I'll say this to encourage anybody out there. Be the best version of yourself.
Yes.
Hold yourself to your standards. Don't try to be like anyone else unless, you just favor something they do and they're helping you to develop what it is that you're doing. That's fine. But you still need to have your own way and never be afraid to open up and speak and talk because you never know the next person that you might be helping.
Mm-hmm.
Also, never, never, never limit yourself to the different areas that you may be able to go in, sort of speak. Like, for instance, I teach my niece to just open up her mind to a lot of things. My son, he likes to shut his mind to a lot of things. I try to show him sometimes. But my niece is a little bit more susceptible to that. So I like drawing as well. I'm not going to say I'm 100% the best at it, but I like drawing. Was I into painting? Probably not. My mother did a lot of count the number painting where you follow the colors and she used to draw, color the horses with the pretty watercolors in there. And I just thought they were so beautiful. That was her thing. She looks at my drawing and say, "Did you stencil that?" And I'm like, "No, freehand." And she's like, "Really?" And I'm like, "Yeah, because that's my thing. I've been dibbling and dabbling in it since I've been young. And hair and painting and all this little stuff that if you shut and close yourself off to it, you would never know."
That's
There's
true.
this guy on here. His name is David. I don't remember his last name. I don't want to butcher it. But he does paintings for a living. Got it from Bob Ross a little bit, the inspiration.
I love Bob Ross. That's the whole reason why I say anyone can write. It's from Bob Ross.
Love him. So I was just feeling a little down and out, not too long ago, just personal stuff keeping me down. And I'm like, besides meditation, quiet and centering yourself and getting your thoughts together and just being thankful for everything and everything around you. I said, well, what else can I do? Barbie just can't be it for me. I love skating. I don't want to venture back off into it like how some other people are doing as adults because I don't have that skill and I'm terrified to fall at this age, just to be honest. But I love what they do. And I want to remove that fear and get out there and start actually seeing what I can do. Maybe just in some safer areas, just until I get comfortable enough. Because to be honest with you, if I left and went to the skating rink with my son right now, and I got out there, yeah, I can do the lap around. Yeah, I know how to get out there and balance myself. But to do the speed skating and the tricks and all of that, I'm going over there to the rails while you guys are doing that. Because I'm terrified. I'm baby stepping here. But it's not, I don't want anything to stop me. So I look at those things for inspiration to keep pulling me away from my fear. So the guy said, David, he said, let's paint. I'm like, David, I don't paint. I'm going to be on here doing stuff with my fingers. I don't know what I'm doing. He said, just do what you feel. Just I don't care what you do. Just you drip some colors, whatever. And I said, oh, and I started with the picture and I was going, and you know how you look at something, you like, what is this? And I was like, something told me just finish the process. Finish the process. Finish the process. And I got to this one part and I'm like, what is going on with this color? What? I'm like, and it's like, finish the process. Finish it. And so I finished it.
Oh my God. I love it.
So finish the process, guys. I don't paint.
Good
I
job.
may draw. I may do stuff here and there. I do dioramas. This doesn't have anything to do with a diorama or Barbie or skating. Nothing. It was just an avenue that he asked that I venture off into and see where I could go. And honestly, I didn't think this was anything. My mother looked at it and was like, did you copy that? And I was like, no, I didn't. She said, well, I'm going to copy it.
I love it. And you're right. You're right.
Please.
Finish it.
Get out there. I was doing all of this. Didn't know what I was doing. Didn't know a thing. I didn't even know what I was doing. Making legs. Didn't know how to draw them. I'm like, what is going on here? It wasn't anything here. Didn't know what to put there. I'm making streaks and stripes everywhere and throwing paint all around. And it's gonna come together real good. And it came out to be like this. And I'm pretty happy and proud of myself. So for anybody out there that are doubting yourself about anything that you do, dolls, business, career, life, children, home, yourself, believe
Mm-hmm.
in yourself. Be fair to yourself. Be kind to yourself and love yourself. Don't let this IG and internet stuff drive you insane. I know a lot of you suffer with that. Some people suffer with depression and things, and this stuff can pick and prod at that because you feel you might be doing your best and you might not feel that you're receiving what you put
Mm-hmm.
out there. And that's
Mm-hmm.
fine. You have to just do what's for you. Doesn't
That's
matter.
true.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't.
Very,
It's
very
going to
true.
be a lot of things that go on that you like, well, what is happening here? But if you have your time to shine, you're gonna have your time to shine. People are gonna see you. People are gonna respect your work. We all got our own accounts. No two are the same. So
Mm-hmm.
I encourage everybody to take the time out, especially with the way things are going. Even if Barbies are not your outlet, to just open up your mind and try new things that can release some of that stress and those creative, ideas that you have. Because that is what I do. I'm journaling. I'm reading books. This is
Yes.
stuff I already do, but I'm giving myself goals to complete things and do stuff. I'm always so hard on myself about not completing something. I'm like, would you just complete it? What is wrong with you? I'm the inner part of me that's like, get in there and finish it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't want to finish it. So it's
And
like,
it's that fear, like you said earlier, it's a fear of doing it wrong. And there are some people who may be doing fashion or doing outdoor photos with their dolls, and they may be afraid to write a storyline because what will people think? Am I going to write something that's appropriate? Am I going to write something that people are going to, relate to? I don't really write. I don't have a background in writing, or I do have a background in writing, but I've never written for dolls. And there could just be all these different things going on in your head. And definitely in connection with what you're saying, just try it. Just try it. Just see see how it feels for you. Do 2, 3 posts. Do a fourth post. If it's something that you don't like, then go back to how you were doing things, or try another. If you've never really done fashion, but somewhere inside you're like, I want to, put some
right.
pieces together and see what it looks like. Do
Yeah.
it. And just do it. And I fully agree with you. Our life here, we don't know how long it is, but we do know that we're not immortal. And it doesn't make any sense for us to get 80, 90 years old and we say, I could have did this, I could have did that, and we didn't do it. So do it. Go out there
We
and do
are
it.
living proof
Just like
of
you
it
said,
today.
baby step it. If you're not able to do all the fancy footwork with the skating, there's a minister that's on Instagram. He was on Steve Harvey's show, and he and his wife, they do all the tricks and stuff and all the leg work, and it's
I tried
awesome. And
all.
I commend them. That's not where I'm at. That's not where I'm at. And like you said, I'm afraid of falling on the butt. So I'm going to have to do baby steps before I just get to that point. But I don't feel bad about that because
Yeah.
I want to be able to get outside of myself, out of my comfort zone, get out of my limits, and become the best version of myself. And that's what we're supposed to be doing so we can be healthy,
Yes.
and be able to enjoy life.
Mentally, because we are out here spewing too much of this negative stuff, and it needs to be about positivity. Everybody needs to just soak in dose of positivity and whoop,
Yes, yes, yes.
just
I fully agree
woosah.
with you. I fully agree with you. So if
Yeah.
anyone has anything else, any more
Do you have
questions?
any more questions for me?
Comments?
I had such a good time with you. Thank you so much for doing this. This was
Oh my
really
goodness, thank you. Thank you for saying yes. I've definitely had a very good time. Most
Thank you for
definitely.
sharing your platform and your followers and friends and viewers and family with me. This is very nice. This is a good way to, what is it, network. So we dolly networking right now, which is
We
good.
are. Yeah, I like that Dolly networking.
I like this
That's
vibe,
what we're doing. That's what we're doing. We are Dolly networking. And we already talked. We already sent each other messages and stuff. Like I said, this
And
is
you're
my
helpful at this if you don't realize it. You are being a connection to bringing the doll community together, or at least opening up other people's eyes to different doll collectors that might not know that they're out there because of what we say, the algorithms and the way that the things work. Or possibly it could be how often somebody posts, because it's a person right now that she can't get back into her account for some reason or another. She's working to be able to, and she hasn't since like last year. And I don't tell people this often because it's not a thing that I have to say. Just like I talk to you, I have quite a few people that I check in on and talk to. Some related to Barbie, some not. I try to keep everything related to Barbie in this account. And I have a genuine interest in their well-being and in their health. I contact them often to make sure that they're all right mentally and try
Yeah.
to stimulate their motivation a little bit. So I do that. And as far as like, making sure that people are comfortable or heard and just I feel like what you're doing is really, really helpful for those that might be shy. I know somebody who takes some, oh my God.
Thank you.
The pictures are so cute. And I'm not saying that they doubt themselves. They said that they were shy. It's a male. And he takes a picture of this one female doll. She's a thick doll, but she's so gorgeous. And it's like, he's just like, it's just a picture. And I'm like, no, it's just a picture. It's really, really pretty. It's really nice, but he doesn't have a lot of traction. You know what I mean? It's not a whole lot of people because he doesn't post often and he might not be making as many friends with people because he's a shy person, but it's somebody like yourself that'll say, personally, you're reaching out because it's something that you like within them. And it could be just the universe coming together to help bring to people and you help lift them up into the platform they need to be in because they might not realize that the shine needs to be on them and they still keep trying to dim the light.
Yeah.
So it's very helpful. And I
I
appreciate you
appreciate
for
that.
helping all of the people, whether they are introverts or extroverts, and they want to be seen or not. It's good to bring them to the forefront so they can actually be appreciated for what they are doing, even if they do or don't think that they are. Because I feel like a lot of people's accounts on here is important. I say this to myself too. Um, the internet is not that important like that, to just be like, I have to be on here. I have to do this. But it is important to us because it's something that we're sharing amongst a community because we all share this feeling and love for it. And I was
Yes.
just thinking one day, if that all died and went away, how would we feel? If we could not share with one another in all these different states and countries and stuff and talk like we do because a lot of us met through here, how would
Yes.
that make us feel? A lot of us would not be too happy
Exactly.
because this is our happy place. So I am thankful for it. So
I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful for this doll community. I've said it time over time again. I've gone through, of course, different pregnancies and postpartum and have had some really rough times, really rough times, pregnancies, very rough times, emotionally, hormonally, and yet being able to be connected to our dog community and the positive feedback that we give each other, the way that we check in on each other. It has been so encouraging. It has made my processes easier than ever before. And I appreciate you and your kind words. I really, really do. It makes me feel good. And
I'm
definitely
still
makes me
waiting
feel
on that
good.
hair wrap, girl. I'm waiting on you to do that white hair wrap. I'm waiting on that. I'm waiting.
I will send you that picture when it happens too. I like that. I
I'm
showed my
waiting.
husband. I was like, oh my God, that meant so much to me. You really made me tear up that day because I saw it and I was like, wow. Because that right there, when we talk about head wraps, we're talking about crowns, we're talking about royalty. And when you sent that to me, that touched my heart to know like,
Yeah, I felt that it was something
it
for
makes me feel
you.
good.
I knew it would look good on you because that's your thing. That's what you like to do. Not saying no one else can't do it, but you take a liking to it. And when I saw that, it was like almost just envisioned your face there with the rap and just the way they were doing it. I'm like, that is so bomb. I'm like, it was like you already had it and knew how to do it. I'm like, okay, do it. You
So
like,
yes,
wait a minute, I gotta try this first. I don't know.
I gotta get somebody to do it because he was sewing it
Yeah,
on her
yeah, I
head. So
saw
I was
that
like,
part.
okay, how am I gonna do this?
Right. And I figure your husband knew how to do that. I'm like, she might need a little help. Just a little help there. But
He's
it's very
multitask.
beautiful.
He's a multitasker, so I'm
I would like to see you do it for your miniature. That would be really cute, you know? And then maybe you never know. By you doing it on the mini, you might get it on yourself really quick. So yeah.
Oh yeah, so we can twin it. We can twin it. I love the twin. I love it when they twin it. I'm like, oh, that's so awesome. I've only been able to twin it once, but we're gonna do that again. We are.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah.
But we're gonna do this again because I've had such a fun time with you. I truly have. Someone else said that they were enjoying this, and thank you both.
I enjoy all of you. Thank you guys so much for sharing your time with me. Thank you guys so much for listening to me cackle away. Thank you so much for interviewing me. Thank you guys for even following my page, because you don't have to follow me. There's a bajillion people out here doing their thing, and I'm just a small squirrel in the world trying to get a nut. So thank you all so much. I love you guys. Y'all so special to me. I talk my family's ear off about y'all because I get on their nerves. They don't want to hear it, but I'll tell them anyway.
But but community. To answer your question, when our Instagram went off for that day, we were all at a loss, and it wasn't even a full day, but it was enough to make us all go, "What happened? What's it? Did it crash?"
Somebody go walking into Facebook like, you know what? Cut it on. Cut it on.
Yeah, because we've made such great connections with each other, and it's greater. If anything, what I learned for myself, but especially from like all the different comments that people had, it's greater for us than just a following. Now, some people have, like a large following. That's great. Some people have a large following, not even because they're like trying to get a large following. It's just, the content that they have. People are mad, they're just like magnets to it. Yeah. So some people aren't on here trying to get a large following. They just happen to have it. But what we learned is that it's the connection. Our relationships with each other are so much greater. And being able to be accepted for who we are with our dolls and all is what makes this such a genuine community. And it's not knocking anyone else or any other communities that's out there, even our family. But we've got some family members who don't understand what we're doing and why we do it.
Listen, we fought hard for this. We deserve it. We fought through our childhood and we fought through those urges, and now we're here. Leave us alone. We got our respect for. Just leave us alone. We don't have to drive y'all crazy no more, showing y'all our stuff. We come on in the dog community and just wild out. Girl, look at my dog. Girl, look at my dog. You don't have to sit there and worry your husband to death about me. See, babe, this is what I rebooted last week. I'm like, girl, I don't care.
Oh, you know what? He's really supportive. He is very. He and my sons do all the setup right here, and then whenever I have storyline ideas, he'd be like, "Well, what if you do this?"
That is super good.
I mean, he really is. Like, even when it comes to my character Tony, he was like, "I'm looking to see when you're gonna bring Tony back. When you gonna bring?"
You know what?
It's usually gonna have that wedding. I was like, "Yes," but right now we're focused on Gloria. He was like, "Well, don't forget about Tony. Don't forget about the
like, bring him back." Yeah. It's funny how they chime in on the male characters. They don't want you to dress them a certain way. What's the clothes? The pants look a little tight there. What's that hat twisted on? Basketball.
Yeah, hey, it helped me. I'm like, I'll take it. I'll take what should he wear right here? Because honestly, like when you said that about dressing, one of the guys, Reggie, who's a new character, I was dressing him up, and shoes did not. It was not matching at all. Just really talk. And I was like, hey, you got to help me here. He said, yeah, he needs some white shoes or something that's going to bring that out. It's just going I was like,
yeah. It's so cool, though. You're right about it. A million years, they would not play with us when we was younger. You couldn't get a boy to be the stumped on your Barbie down. Get that thing out of here. Like, I was just trying to play with you and your G.I. Joe. You stumped my Barbie head. So it's a pleasure now when your husband, significant, or even if your child partakes in you. Oh, you love it, thank you, sweetheart. My son doesn't per se love the Barbies, but he does have a genuine concern if I show him something like a diorama. Like, look what I did. So he's like, Mom, you did really good. I like that part right there where you put that up. That looks real cool. That's supposed to be a sense. I can tell that he's really engaging and taking it in and seeing where my skills. I appreciate it. It makes me feel like he doesn't think I'm just down here playing with sticks and glue. I'm really doing something. So
And you never know, like that may be getting all kinds of things geared up in his head. Art, he may end up going into engineering or architect.
That's what he said to me. He said, "Mine, don't you think it's cool like that you're like a little miniature architect person?" I was like, "What?" I was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, maybe so. I
Yeah.
guess. I guess I didn't ever think about that area. But see, just like I
Mm-hmm.
said before, you never know what areas you're good in until you actually do it. So, yeah, yeah.
Well, I thank
Mm-mm.
you for celebrating with me and having this live with me and us being able to talk. Like I said, we're definitely going to do this again. I'll be
Oh, I
looking
would
for
love
that
to.
link so I can know
Oh,
what do
yeah,
I
for
have
to
right
find all that
now and what
stuff, for
else do I
sure.
need.
I would definitely send you that link because I was blown away when I found it. Because I'm like, I didn't even know this thing existed. Because there's so many fashions from Barbie back in the day that I don't think there is no collector that has everything. If you do, you must be a store. It's like it's so many things.
It
And
is.
then you know how it was like dupe stuff, like they would bring something out and then put it in like a multi pack or something like that. So it's like, and then the stuff that comes from other states. Have you ever seen the Barbies that might have like Chinese writing or something on it?
Yes.
I didn't even know those existed when I was
Yes.
young. But of course, you wouldn't know that stuff when you're young because your parents are buying here. But
Mhm.
now that you're an adult, you can venture out and get any.
So
You can
very true.
venture out and get anything you want. I'll be so happy just thinking about like I can go here and there. I can talk to somebody in Russia and get a Barbie
I
doll. This is so
know.
so.
So
I
very
love
true.
that. I really do.
So very true.
And
So
I
very
learned
true.
a
So
lot
yes,
from
the
this
world of the
community.
internet has just really opened us up to be able to learn more about each other, learn about our dolls, learn about the different accessories and so forth that different states and countries have. It is. It's truly awesome. It's truly, truly awesome. It's all about your perspective because some of us may be on here and we may just stay in our own doll realm and that's it. We don't really, just like you said about the young man, we may be a little bit too shy to actually venture off and network and talk to other people and, have our dolls attend other parties. But whenever you
Mm-hmm.
can get outside your comfort zone, allow yourself to be nervous, to be afraid, but still talk, still
Yes.
DM, still comment, it just opens you up to meet so many different people and to learn. So
Mm-hmm.
I do hope that the person that that he does come out of his shell more.
I do too. He has two daughters. That's what makes it fun for him. I feel like that's like the polar opposite of what dads are usually used to dealing with. For one, it's usually the daughters that has the dolls and they're doing everything. Well, this dad is a photographer. He makes clothes and he knows how to, dress the dolls and all that stuff. And I'm like, this is so amazing. What's going on here? He's like, life. I just don't post that much. And I'm like, why not? She's beautiful. You make beautiful clothes, but everybody has their time, reason, season, niche, everything. I don't push, I don't pry. I just genuinely just check on people, communicate, try to support. That's a real big thing in this community is just support, especially because there are people who feel unsupported in their real life. So,
Sure.
you can really go a long way in somebody's life, supporting them, helping them, looking out for them, even when they can't, I don't know, get up out the bed, don't want to get out the bed, you might be the
Sure.
reason why they get out the bed the next
That's
day.
very,
So
very true. That's very,
it's
very
it's
true.
been a lot of you all that sometimes I'm up in the middle of the night or I may be up in the morning and I'm having
I'm
a
putting
crack
up my
day
charger.
and I see that's okay. And I see something that you guys do a video or it might be a funny story and I just bust out cracking up 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning or 6 o'clock in the
That's
morning,
true.
and I'm like, oh, this made my day feel better. I can get myself going now. I can get in the shower and get this attitude up off me or whatever, and just feel better about my day. And I appreciate that because the person doesn't even know that that's what they're doing. They don't know that, they're helping to jumpstart someone's day or make them feel better about themselves. So in the Dow community,
That's
just
true.
know that sometimes you are not just here for the purposes that you think you are. Sometimes there is a bigger reason.
I agree. I fully agree. And I apologize for going off screen. I had to go get my
Oh,
charger
you're fine. You're
because I don't
fine. I
want
know
this.
you were. I'm talking you to death. We're rambling. I know you're
Oh,
getting
no,
ready to
no,
wrap it
no.
up. I just like talking to you guys so much.
Oh, goodness. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just trying to get my charger to fit.
Oh,
It
you good.
usually does, and today it's not. There we go. There we go. Okay. a little crooked, but that's okay. All right. But yes, I fully agree with you. You know, you don't know what you post that could be an encouragement to someone else. And sometimes maybe you do know, but you don't really know who it's going to be meant for. And
Mm-hmm.
because we're all in time zones, we don't know when that person's going to read it. And there may be some posts even that makes you feel uncomfortable that you may post, where you're like, I don't know if I should put that out there. But
Yeah.
you put it out there, and you may feel like it doesn't have to be anything dark. It could be something that's just really, in your opinion, corny. You're like, oh, this is corny. I don't think I should post this. You know what I mean? But
I be saying
no
corny
reason.
stuff all the time. I be like, ooh,
And
they
I'm
ain't
like,
gonna
oh
laugh
my
at
God, I
that.
needed that. That cracked me up. It was lighthearted. I enjoyed it. So you never know how you're making someone else's day better by what you put out there. And we're all energy. So whatever energy you put out there, it's going to come right back to you. Even if it's something like I may have some drama with my storyline, and yet the energy I'm putting out there as far as release and it being healing and being therapy and putting it out there, you know, and someone else may be able to relate to that storyline. You know, that comes right back to me. You know, their energy, them being able to release becomes something that I'm encouraged by.
Yeah, I do like feedback. I do like, you know, going back and forth and visiting different accounts and just it gives me like a Barbie fill up or something. I don't know if that's a thing. I just be like, so many things to see, so many dolls, so much stuff. You are so creative. You are so nice. This is good. And it's just like until I'm just tired, I'm like, okay, that's enough of the internet. I get
Our
back on.
serotonin and endorphins are all getting like.
Yeah. But it's good for me because it's like a morale booster. It helps me. It gives me a little bit more life because of that side you used to have to suppress so much. You can now let it be open and take in what it's giving you. So man, it's been a lot of days where I'm like, just dress her because he is getting on my nerves. I just don't want it. And by the time I'm getting there dressed, I'm like, well, she looks nice. Let's take some pictures, you know? So you never know. It puts you to put you in a good mood. It could, you know, give you some new ideas for something new, or you see somebody doing something and encourages you to do something. So it's all in good fun. As long as you're
It's
here
true.
for the good in it, the positivity, like you said, and just being like a positive force in the doll community, I think that's most helpful to everybody right now, especially what they're going through on the outside. Because we're just having doll fun here. So you really don't have to bring your real life with you. You can just drop it off at the door and play till you're tired. So yeah, that's why I like being here with you guys because it's the best thing for me right now for self therapy. If that was
Yeah,
such a thing, I don't know if
it
therapists
is.
use this. They use this as play. What do they use this for adults or just for kids?
You have play therapy, and it's outlined for children, but what we're doing is for adults. So,
It's sure
and
helping me. So
there's self therapy as far as you being able to self treat. And that's really what this is. This is a treatment plan for some of us, not for all of us, but for some of us who know that, you know, I need to be able to heal from some internal wounds or some mental wounds or whatever the
yeah,
situation may be. And I personally believe it is for everyone, but there may be some people who are like, oh, I don't use it for therapy. But it
which is
still
fine.
makes you smile. It still, you
It
know,
does.
it still encourages you. You have a real long, stressful day at work, even. You come in and you snap some pictures of your dolls and you feel like you can breathe a little better. Well, that's therapy. So it doesn't have
Yes.
to be, you know, a tragic backstory or anything that's
Mm-hmm.
going on dramatic right now. It could be, I just had a really long day at work. My boss got on my nerve, had to deal with a coworker who wasn't really pulling their side of things. And I
Yeah.
just want to get back to my dolls. I just want to touch the hair, change the
I
clothes, do a
know, right?
couple of pictures, and now I feel more calm. That's still therapy.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
when you talk about self-therapy, that is a thing. And quite honestly, as therapists and counselors and coaches, you're supposed to train your patients and your clients to know how to do therapy for themselves when they're at home.
That is a really good thing to know that I guess unknowingly I'm taking steps forward to self therapy through play. And that's something that you brought to the forefront. So now I learned something new today.
Yes, yes,
Because
yes.
I didn't
Yeah, but
know.
we call it play therapy, and that's what we're doing. You know,
Very
and
good.
one of
Very
the things
good. I
that's
don't have
so
to be
beautiful
five to
about
have
this
some
is
play
putting your
therapy
adult
because I
fans
do
with.
need it. This is very helpful for me. It might not be daily, but it is very helpful for me. Even the times that I don't post the pictures, just dressing, I know it can be hectic, but just dressing, it's like some type of release for me. I don't know. Speaks to what you were saying, but yeah, I definitely feel like the time just, putting your mind at ease, figuring out what they wear, picking the shoes, putting the little earrings in, taking your time, brushing their hair, styling them, for their picture in it. And by the time you're done, you're like, this was nice.
Exactly. Exactly. And then, when we talk about, so we have our self-therapy aspect, but then when we talk about our character development, we want to keep it in line with storyline. Whenever
Mm-hmm.
we have that time with our dolls just by themselves, we're not doing any pictures, but we're
Mm-hmm.
just doing their hair, we're just changing the clothes,
Yeah.
we're just posing them. Maybe seeing how does the articulation work and what kind of poses can I do for my next photo shoot. We're actually bonding with our doll even more, which
Yeah.
helps the doll's personality, male or female, to come out even more for us because we have to know who the doll is. And it's really
Yeah.
difficult to write about a doll that I don't know. I don't
Okay.
know you. I may have a name for you, but I don't know what your interests are. I don't know
Yeah.
how you do your hair. I don't know what your particular clothing are. Are you more goth? Are you more pritsy pritsy? Do you wear tomboy clothes? Do you like to mix and match your style? And the
Yeah.
only way to know that is whenever I spend more time with you without the camera on. So it's
Yeah.
therapy for us, but then it also helps us to relate to our doll more.
That
So
makes a lot of sense.
it's both ways. And then sometimes, like I know I had talked to someone online a few months back, and they just stated, my life is so busy right now, I can't take pictures. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to take my pictures again. They were really stressed out. And I was like, you know
Oh,
what? If you take your doll, put your doll right next to you, spend that time with your doll, just like you're saying, just brushing the hair, just taking that time in between, letting the doll sleep somewhere by your bed. And it seems now someone else, they're probably like, oh, someone's not putting his dog feed. They're like, oh, that's crazy. But guess what? It lets you know I'm gonna get back to those pictures. But right now,
yeah.
we're just spending some bonding time. Just like
Yeah.
I don't post pictures of my son on that level, our infant. And
Mm-hmm.
part of the reason why is because this is our time.
Yeah.
I'm like,
It
I'm gonna be
really
selfish
is.
about it because this is my baby and I just want to, spend that time cuddling and snuggling and we're not gonna have this time all the
Yeah.
time.
With the little
These are,
tushy
these
tushy.
are little home pictures and stuff. It's just, for the family. So
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with having that time also with your dolls where it's like, this is just my time with my doll. I'm
Yeah.
gonna post it. You know what? I got an outfit on her. I may not ever even have that outfit on the photo shoot, but I
Right.
know what she looked like in it, and she knows what
Yeah.
she looked like in it. So you need to have that time with them. So
Yep. You
it's actually
absolutely
quite
right
healthy.
about that. You absolutely right. You hit the nail on the head right there. Some things you were saying, I didn't even put it in perspective. So you're right. It does make sense. You do have bonding time. It's been a couple times I've caught myself talking to them. A couple times they didn't put themselves in another pose or something. And I'm like, look, put your hand out there. Like, no, I like herself this way. I like it. It was like, okay, fine. We got you, girl. You go ahead with what you got going on.
There you go. I took a photo one time, and I wish I would have did it on video. And I was just about to click video, but then I was like, oh no, 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 I'm not doing a video. I'm taking a picture. I took the
Mm.
picture, and it was this doll right here. Her hand moved. Like her hand was right here, and then it moved. I was like, oh, but it didn't freak me out because
I would have been. Like, is it one of them loose limb
it
situations?
literally just moved. I had her hand right here, and then went, boop. She had a black jacket. Boop. I was like, oh, I should have did the video.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was so close to the video, but I was like, no, let me go to picture because that's what I'm about to do. I was disappointed, but I just thought it was so cool. But I take it back. I was a little bit freaked out because then I went downstairs because my husband's with the kids right now, and I was like, hey, hey. I didn't want my kids to hear me because I was like, I don't want them thinking mama's, oh,
Right.
mommy's
I'm
really
not
lost
crazy.
now.
She crazy.
I was like, the doll's hand moved. I was taking a picture and it was right here and it went down. And he was just like, I believe you.
Okay. I'm
Yeah,
about
yeah,
to say now. Okay,
yeah,
honey, be
yeah,
on my
yeah.
side now. Don't tell me I've been talking to these dolls too long. Now they talking back. Now don't do that to me.
Oh, these dolls do some stuff. We got some dolls on our headboard, like right on the headboard. And they'll just
Really?
jump off sometimes. Yeah.
Come on, jump off.
One day,
Like,
my daughter, she was like, hey, Josie just moved. So Josie's one of my dolls. And literally, I had her as a co-host one time, and I just felt this vibe, this energy that was like, don't put me back on the screen again. Like, she's not a part of the storyline.
really?
I just don't get that pull
Really?
from her that she wants to be a part of the storyline. She just likes to sit and chill by our bed. So, well, on the headboard. And at first, she was looking out the window because we had our bed by the window. And she would just always have her body turned towards the window. Now she's on the headboard. And one day, she was sitting there, and our oldest daughter was like, she moved. I saw her move. And I said, you did? Well, I just, I was busy. I was doing something. I think I was like writing. And I was like, okay. And I kind of just passed it. I mean, like I heard her, but I couldn't really put my attention into it. The daggone doll just like dropped right on my back.
She said, did you hear
And
what she said?
I hadn't moved, so I hadn't like touched her or anything. She just like, yeah, she went for it. I was like, hey. And that's like right after we just moved our bed. I'm like, hey, I can't put you by the window anymore. Just move the whole bed set. You can't
Negotiation now.
I don't think she likes her new location. She's trying to deal with it, but she's
hilarious. That's a good story.
So I've gotten used to it. I've gotten used to it.
Don't put me on anymore. I don't want any more camera time with her. Didn't I tell you I don't know her either? I don't want to be on here.
She knows. She does it, so I don't let her. I just,
That is amazing that you even.
She's one of my girl dogs. Like I wanted her
like,
so bad. But yeah, she does not want to be on camera. She doesn't want to be in the storyline. The kids that ask me, yeah.
That's sort of how I feel the way that is Minnie Mai's character is driven, because she's so dry with it. I feel like she's like, don't take no picture of me. I don't care if you got me dressed up. Just don't take. Like, she's been down there for 2.5 months. I just look at her like, but you're cute though. Like, whatever. You just gonna keep me standing here for your pleasure. I want to put on some jogging pants to get me out of this skirt. These heels, I don't like it.
You're gonna have to put her in the jogging
dressed like a tomboy.
You're gonna have to put her in the jogging pants.
I am. After this skirt, I think it's a wrap. I really am. Because her little attitude shows. It's all on her face. And the funny thing I find is the coolest thing about getting a doll that has a doll defect on it is the one that I call Trisha. She's the look doll, the blonde hair, the tall one. She had like this little tiny mole, like spot defect on her face. Look like a little mole. I'm always sticking a mole somewhere on my back. I said, girl, you wanted a mole, didn't you? You wanted to be in this house. You wanted to be a part of the mole game. I knew it. I looked at her and said, that is so cute, and I'm not going to take it off your face.
No. Okay. Some of those marks and flaws, as they call it, is supposed to be there to give them their own unique vibe.
Yeah, that's character development for you right
there. It really, really is.
Your own twist on it, but yeah.
So we are going to go ahead and let me see if anybody has anything else that's been therapeutic for me too. Yes, that's Fiona's imagination. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you, ladies. This is a great way to start my Sunday. Priceless. Oh, that was very nice of you.
Thank you, guys. So sweet.
The space is nice. You guys have a lot of options for Barbie doll things. And that is true. We truly do have a lot. And on top of that, we have our prices are, although our prices can be an arm and a leg, from what I've seen with the different videos and reels that people will show in other countries, it's like ours is way cheaper. So we do have to be appreciative of that, because our prices are different, and as far as the amount that we do have is different.
Yeah, I am thankful because I do get a little bugged out if someone says that they can't get something because of just them not putting it or just shipping it there, or just like when it's in South Africa, she tells me about the rand. And I'm like, I feel like a crumb because it's like over here, it sounds like it's almost like $50 over there. And it could be like a $20 Barbie. But the way that money is ran over there, it's costing her too much. She can't collect how we collect. And she was saying like the shipping and the barging fees and all that stuff. She's saying like, don't even send me anything in the mail because it takes like 4 months to get here. That's like a no-no. She's like, if you do something, like next day, you're gonna pay an arm and a leg to get it here. And I'm like, I just feel so bad because we're so used to getting something so quick and go to the store and grab it or ship it right in the mail 2 or 3 days,
Yeah.
and we get so spoiled when it doesn't come. And where's my package? And these
Right.
people are waiting like months just to get a little funky purse or something. And it's like, be thankful. I wake up in the morning and I'm thankful. I thank God for waking me up first before I get on IG. That's first, and then I try to get into my meditation, and then I try to check in with everybody and see how everybody's doing. I make sure my baby's okay first and everything, and just get myself going and try to be as positive as I can when I start my day. So yeah, and Barbies are usually a part. If I don't do nothing else with the Barbies, I'll look at them. Make sure I look in on the family. Hey y'all, or something
Yeah.
like that. Oh my God, my phone's down. I'll look in on the family, and say hi to them, or I'll say, I miss you guys, or I'll take pictures of you soon, just to be, I don't know why I like to look at them like that. I just do it. Is it weird? I'm just like, hey,
But no, it's not. It's comforting. It's comforting. Just like you said
I
earlier,
guess.
self therapy.
Yeah, I
Self
guess you're right.
therapy.
I guess I
Yeah.
have to get out of that you weird stuff thing because I feel like stuff I do with the dolls be like, okay, you're being weird with them now. You being be like, I sit there and look at her like, hey, girl. You look cute, but it's like you're not getting nothing back from me but a
But
look.
it's
Like,
energy, it's still energy because everything's made of molecules, and molecules is energy, and they're all bumping into each other and all this other stuff. So what you put into your dolls, the love that you put into them, it comes right back to you. You feel it. And then on top of that, when you do your photos and we see your photos, we don't really see so much as just the dolls. We don't really see so much as BB and Cece and D. We see them, but we feel the love that's on it. We feel
yeah,
the love that's coming from them because that's what you put into your babies. So you were putting all these, all your love into them and your passion into them. Even when you're having like a bad day, you're allowing who they are to you, be that therapy to you. And then whenever you take the pictures, just like you said when I brush the hair, by the time I'm done, I'm like, I feel calm. Oh, you look good, girl. So then you pose her, you put her on that, on the screen, and you take the photos. That's what we feel.
yeah.
We feel the calm and the peace that comes with it, and we feel the happiness and the joy that you got from your interaction with her. So it's nothing weird about that, you
That
know?
sounds a much better way to explain because that's what it would have been
It's just
all
true.
weird coming from me. Look, I like to talk to them. All right, they don't say nothing. They just you
There's
gave a
nothing wrong
whole
with
nice clinical, and it's okay. Like the textbook, they say it's fine to say
it.
hello to
It's
the
true.
dog. So
Hey,
it does make sense,
I
and it does
know.
make me feel
You see
good.
me, yeah, you see me and my babies.
It's fine. It's fine. I don't ever want it to feel like I'm just losing it, because I get so lost in Dolly World. I have all my sensibilities. I'm very common sense wise. I know everything that's going on. It's just that sometimes I can get so lost in what I'm doing with them that I really don't want to return back to everyday regular because
Who
I'm happy
does?
in here.
Who
So it's
does? All
fine.
the stress and the pulling and responsibility. Shoo!
They the
When someone
first
get over
people
here,
I
it's
run
gonna be,
to.
Mom, I'm hungry. Can I get a snack? Someone's diaper's gonna need to get changed. They're gonna be talking to me about, because I homeschool too, so they're gonna be talking to me about about school and this. So believe me. Then you turn on the news and you got, all these different, situations, and this movement's going on, and then, people are unhappy right here, and this is going up. And there's nothing wrong with saying, you know what, for the next hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, I just want to kind of consume my time in Barbie Land.
I think it
Or
helps
you're
me
feeling a
pull
little
away
stressed and you take
from.
out the Instagram and you're like, oh, let me see what you've got. Oh, I'm liking that storyline. Oh, I like that
Yeah.
outfit. oh, I like, what you're doing right here, how creative that is. Because then you're allowing yourself to just like decompress.
Right.
You are navigating how much stress that you're going to take in. There's nothing wrong with that. That's like I said earlier, that's healthy. To the rest of the world, it may not seem healthy, but that's part of the reason why you see so
Right.
many people who have high blood pressure. They have their cholesterol is up, their tensions up, stress is up, they're moody, they're grumpy, they're making other people's lives unhappy because they haven't found a place within themselves where they can be happy, where
You're
they can find their own
100%.
satisfaction. So the same people are like, that's weird, that's odd. Why are you doing that? They, on the other hand, are still trying to find out what makes them happy, or they're so busy just trying to be like everyone else.
Yeah.
Then when they're by themselves, they're kind of like, who am I?
Yeah, that do make me sad to feel like, when you are searching for your purpose or you just want to find what you're good at and you sit there and you try to pull at everything that somebody else is doing because you don't know what you're great at. It's like a real coming to yourself moment when you do find what it is that you love and that you're good at. And for anybody out there that felt like that, I'm sorry that you did, because it's a crappy feeling when you
It
don't feel
is.
like you know what you're good at. For real. I know firsthand. And if it wasn't for some of this dial stuff, people really wouldn't even know some of the talents that I have outside of just working, because I'm such an introvert. You're not gonna get like this conversation that we have. I don't do this every day with anyone. And not to say I don't feel like I can with people. That's the way I'm hardwired.
Yes.
So I hold a lot of stuff, a lot of stress on my chest. And like you said, when I do this stuff with this dial, I really do feel an exhale of all my problems of the day, from waking up to taking my son, worrying about COVID, worrying about people in the streets, bills, adult stuff. I just need something that just really takes me out of reality and shut me off to all the things that bother me in the day. And before I found meditating, or at least how I meditate, because I don't feel like it's any set way. Everybody has their own way to do it. Every
True.
culture, through every person. And it's like, besides me just having that time to focus, this is what pulls me away from the internet. This is what pulls me away from the outside troubles and all the stuff that goes on through the day. So that is a way of, like you said, self-therapy, and just sitting there and trying to focus on one thing. You ever try to just focus on one thing in your brain or something? You see how hard it is? I just told my niece something that she probably never hear again or don't even know about. You have over 2,000 thoughts in your brain every day. Every single day. That's a lot of ideas. And people wonder why they're anxious, they can't sit still, they can't focus on something. It's because of a natural process that's happening. But you have to find a way to deal with your chaos within yourself.
Mhm.
And this is the way I do it. This is the way we do it, through story content and everything.
Yes.
Do you know how many husbands and wives will be talking to their husbands and wives years like, baby, let me tell you about this girl at work.
Hmm.
Honey child. They probably like, oh, please pick that down. Please pick up that down, baby. Please pick up the down. Talk to her. Tell the story through and that's even a better way for us to release some of that. Just let that go. Have our time for us, because like you said, mothers and stuff like that, we don't get much time to ourselves. We're in mommy mode all the time. I know you know more than anybody. And just a little carved out time that you have for yourself can just reset you. It can keep you from being upset, anxious, disruptive, a lot of things, even for children alike. You
Yes.
get a little bit of a break sometime. I think they need to do it in real life jobs, like where they may have like I've suggested it, but it's like no jobs ever really took me seriously except for my one job, and that was because I think someone offered it to them through a business setting where they offered them to try their massage services with their clients for one time. But I said, Bob, you should bring this in general, like every month or every couple weeks, because it will help people reset at work.
Yeah.
You get a lot of people don't even know what it feels like to get a massage. You know what I mean? So it's like certain things can help you reset. If you don't try it, self implode. And I've
True.
already been there this year. I've already been in the hospital. I've already had these stress and depressed, and I I'm really trying to work on that because I feel very strong about you passing that stuff on to your children, especially when they can see it. Your family too. You can pass it on to your spouse or whatever. Just your vibe, your aura, just the way that you are. So you have to find a way to de-stress yourself and make yourself the best person that you can be every day. I know that's so hard to say.
It is.
It's so hard to say with everything that's going on. But I try my best not to be upset and angry at people and just taking in all the stress of the day. And I really, really do use my dials as an outlet. So anybody feeling any way about that weird or anything, just take it from us. Like she said, use it as a self-stress, self-therapy. What did you say? What did you call that? I don't want to mess it up. It's
It's
self-play,
play
play therapy.
therapy.
Play
Actually, you
therapy.
can
I'm gonna
you
write
said
that
self
down.
therapy, and you're right on with that. And it is. It's play therapy, and it is. It's a real life thing. I think it's. I want to say psychologist Jung, and it's spelled Jung. I want to say that he was the one who developed it. I got a lot of different things going on in my head. I know it wasn't Anna Freud, so I think it was psychologist Jung. But nonetheless, this is a real thing, and it's something that really does help us.
It does.
You know, and as a therapist, as a counselor, as a coach, anyone who fills those kind of positions, the main thing that we're supposed to do is to teach ourselves, teach our clients how to be able to, I'm going to say this word, I said it last time, therapize themselves. When you are at home,
That's different.
you should be
Okay.
able, without having to take, now, you know, if someone takes prescription, that's fine. But alongside a prescription or without the prescription, you should be able to have tools to keep yourself sane and healthy. And like we said way earlier, your mental health is your wealth. You being able to be mentally healthy is your wealth. That's what keeps you physically wealthy. That's what keeps you physically healthy. You can't do anything. If you're mentally stressed, I don't care how much you got in your account, eventually you are going to end up getting sick. That's just the bottom line. The body can only handle so much. We're made and built and designed to have joy, to enjoy what we do. Like these dolls, being able to have enjoyment with them. So we can't just constantly have a load of stress and responsibilities on us. We have to be able to smile, to be able to laugh, to be, you know, to be able to have those electrons, all of our neutrons and serotonin and endorphins. You know, it needs to be raised. We need to be able to use them. And that's what we're supposed to be doing. Now, is it always going to be enjoyment in life? No. You're going to have hurdles. You're going to have obstacles. What do you do when they come up? What do you do? And so one of the things that we're able to do in our doll world is have our storylines, have our dolls, have the fashion. Even if you do storylines and you're like, you know what? I don't really feel like doing dialogue. I don't really hear them talking to me. And even if they, you know, even if there is, you know, some dialogue going on, I just feel too tired to do it. I feel too, you know, exhausted, whatever the case is. I just want to dress them up and take some pictures. Dress them up and take some pictures. We in the doll community we do not issue you a paycheck. So we're not sitting here going, I don't like what you just did. That was not a storyline. That was a fashion piece. Do what feels right to you on that day. If it felt right to dress them up, take the pictures, you know, and it put a smile on your face and you felt good about it, that's what matters.
That's what matters. You're absolutely right. That's what matters. Because when you sit up here and keep comparing yourself to the accounts or putting all of that pressure on yourself, like you said, I don't know where that pressure comes from, and I do not want it. I don't want any of that. I just want to stay focused on what I'm doing so I can put out the best version of me, and then everybody can like it. And I think people's misconception with that is that people are so busy trying to compete. Stop competing. Compete with yourself if you want to compete with anybody, but stop competing and just be the best you, because it's not a competition. It's really just pictures. That's all that it is. If somebody came to you with the picture album, you're not taking no more, no less from it. Are you saying, girl, that is nice? Okay. All right, yeah, them clothes, right? Yeah, I saw you. All right, yeah. And then you're on to the next thing. That's it. You get more enjoyment out of what you have because you have physical, you have all of this in your visual. You are really getting all of this out of it. just because you got viewers looking at, they might be looking at the toe of the Barbie, the glasses, the nose. They might not even look at everything you put together. They might not even look at all 10 pages or pictures that you put out there. And you like, I did an incredible spread. They gonna look at all of these pictures and love them. And somebody can say, I hate it. You know, and you're like, what you mean you hate it? It look good. But it's not up to you. You just put out what's the best versions of everything that you like, all of the story content that you like. Talk about what you like. Don't go over there and steal somebody else's story, talking about drama and you was on some happy stuff today or whatever because that person's page is lighting up. You don't do that because it's really, in essence, it's not going to go the right way for you anyway.
That's true.
It's not. You can take
That's
all the inspiration you want. Do not copy people. There are copyright infringements for a reason. There are patents for a reason. There are lawsuits for a reason. Try to go copy Michael Jackson stuff and see what's going to happen. Don't care that he's not alive anymore. Try it. Dare you. Dare you. Dare you. Go ahead and try to copy Mariah Carey's Christmas album and see how far you get. Go ahead. Try to sing it out. Dude, take her vocals and her instrumental and see how far you get and see how happy she's going to be. She's so far removed from them Christmas albums, but she's still getting residual checks and she still wants her credit because guess what? It's her albums and it's her work. And she needs to get her credit for it.
Yes.
Nobody else sings like her. Nobody else should try to sing. God gave you your own voice. Use it, you know? But just like us, we can buy all the same dolls alike. Doesn't mean you have to use them the same, dress them the same, make them look the same. No, you don't. So to go back to what you said about your story and content creation, I think it's very important that they do that in a piece. They don't have to, but I think it's important because it gives you a chance to get your own ideal picture out there of the doll rather than you just seeing the doll out the box. Because anybody can do that. Say, hey, I got the doll in the box. Isn't she cute? Yeah, but I just saw 13 other people that just did. So what are you doing different with her now? Okay, now I'm dressing her up. I'm taking her out. I'm changing her eyes. I'm giving her a different look. Now she's blind. Now she's, I don't know, she's vitiligo. Whatever. But you're just doing something different. And it makes you feel better that you created this character out of thin stuff. You know, rather than going and say, hey, I'm going to copy this guy over here and wear the same stuff. It don't even make you feel good. And then what do you think that person feels when they see it? They're like, I put my all into that. I stayed up 3 days doing this. I wrote this with my nephew. What is going on here? You know?
Yeah.
So everybody is special. Everybody got something different to bring. I could say 10 different accounts on here right now. And if you go to all 10 of them, it's going to be something different that you're going to love about all of them. So
yes,
just remember that everybody is an individual and they all bring something great to the doll community. I love seeing it. I love seeing creativity. Don't slow yourself down for somebody else and don't sit there and hold yourself to someone else's standards of what they know how to do. Because I know when I got in at first, I'm like, I don't know how to build. How am I going to do that? What? My froggy, what? What is she doing? I'm like, okay, well, that looks interesting. And I'm like, well, you know, I can't do what she's doing, but I'll try my best to do my own thing. And just, you know, from trial and error, I sit back and look at some of my progress along the way and see, like, you came a long way. You learn how to build floors. You learn how to build walls. You learn how to do this. You learn how to do that. And it's progress for me. It's my work. It's mine. You know? I get to look at that house every day. I stand over it. I look at it. I take it in. I say, you made that. You made it. You made it exist. It's here because of you. And if it wasn't for you, it would not be here. So I take it all in. And I'm very grateful, very blessed for everything that I have because I could be one of the people in destitute and I don't have anything. So I'm very thankful. Very.
That's true. I'm with you on that. Being able to look back at our progress, being able to see what we've made, what we've created, the difference in what you've learned as far as, like, for me with photography, learning more about lights and learning more about, you know, how to position the dolls and what all I can do to be able to really bring out the personality of the doll and be able to have the clarity that needs to be seen in the diorama. For real, you know, and so you need to look back at those things to be like, this is what work I've done. And give yourself a pat on the back. There's nothing wrong. We spent so much time, and not everyone, but a lot of us have spent so much time hearing negativity and hearing how we need to be more of perfectionists, or the expectations that can be placed on us to be perfectionists, that we forget to pat ourselves on the back. And there's nothing wrong with saying, you did good. Good job. I like what you did right there. You're learning how to, just like you say, you learn how to do the walls. You learn how to do floors. And then also, of course, being grateful. It makes such a difference. I had one of my children, it was my oldest actually, who said, I had a really good day yesterday because I started off by just saying I was thankful. And I want to be able to do that every day. He's like, can we do that as a routine? Can we have it as a routine to say what we're thankful for? And I was like, yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that. But he said that it just made his day so much easier. And I was like, we're supposed to be grateful every day. I was like, now routines, unfortunately, don't always happen with us. We try to have routines, but we got all these different personalities and different things that happen as far as like with time and stuff. Like this may end up lingering a little bit longer for mealtime, and then it ends up, kind of doing a domino effect and throwing off other stuff. But I was like, that's something that we all need to do, even if it's just individually, to say, I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for our parents. I'm grateful for, just like you said, being able to have a house, not being destitute, being able to have the collection that we do. It's a blessing. It's being able to, say, I could be in someone else's shoes, and yet still praying for and giving positive energy towards someone else who is in a bad situation. So it's a good thing to be able to know that you have that kind of heart that wants to be grateful, that wants to look out for other people's well-being. And so I believe one of the things, I spoke about this before, that a lot of us, and we're about to end this, but a lot of us who are creatives, we're very compassionate and we're very sensitive, and we can feel things a little bit more than what others can. It's nothing against anybody else who's more, mechanical. I'll put it like that. I don't mean in a harsh way, but some people just they don't always feel all that. They're like,
they just brush it and it just goes through.
There's gonna be homeless people. There's gonna be people in bad situations. There's gonna be people who die, and it's just how they are. It's like and you still need. I guess I'm not gonna say. I guess you need everyone. So you need people who are able to just brush it off, because it teaches people like us that there's certain things that we have to brush off too. If we're not able to really change the situation, we can pray about it, we can send positive energy. If, whatever your thing is, we can ask the universe to connect the dots and make things a better situation for people, but not allowing it to weigh so heavy on us that it kind of like sends us into depression or sends us into a sadness, and then it's harder to pull us out, because it can take out, like I'm just speaking from my own personal experience. I may feel so sad about someone else's position and what they're going through, that something maybe real minor happens to me, and then I'm like, boom, I'm in it, and then it's harder to get out. Versus if whenever I have those times and I'm like, what, this is going on, it is sad, I can't do anything about it, I can pray about it, but after I do that, I have to leave it right there, because if I keep holding on to it, then I'm gonna have a harder time throughout my day. And then it's going to make it harder for me to relate to my kids. It's going to make it harder for me to relate with my husband, and whatever else it is that I need to do, I'm not going to be able to do. So I have to be able to just, I have to tell myself, this is what's going on, pray about it, and let it go. Because if I don't, like sometimes when my husband's on his Instagram, because he's not in the doll community, so he's seeing more real life stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So, you've got the videos, and you got this person who just got pulled over, and you got this, and you got this profiling, and this and that. And so I'm seeing all that, and then boom, in my mind, it's like, how do our kids survive? What do we need to do? How, is this going to change? How is this so now I'm dealing with like something I can't really change for real. Other than like being able, I can't really, I really can't change that person got pulled over. I can't really change that, somebody was in this kind of situation. But what I can do, of course, is pray, and I got to trust the Lord, trust in what, process is that we're doing with our household and how we're doing it, and leave it right there. Because otherwise, if I don't, and I'm just talking about for my own self, if I don't, and I keep on letting that meditate in my head and keep marinating on it, the slightest thing, I'll just,
Yeah, I know what you mean too. And I think
yeah,
it makes it hypersensitive for us with them kids. It's like it just sends us into this like super protective mommy mode where we just want to put the whole family in a bubble and just make everybody go away. And it's, our world don't work like that, but I can comply exactly with what you feel.
yeah, yeah. And
Exactly.
it doesn't work like that. So we have to be able to get to that point of saying, you know what, my mental health is more important because I'm stressing about something that may not and hopefully will not happen to my children. It will not happen to my household. But if I sit up here and I get stressed out about it and I allow myself to get depressed about it, then I make myself more susceptible to things like stroke.
Yeah, you got
So,
that right.
and
So that's a big,
that's a real thing.
big problem.
That's a real thing. You have a certain percentage of people who have had a stroke and they got through it and they're healthy. You got some who have died. You got some who have gotten out of it and they still in a bad situation with it.
Yeah.
So it's like, why even take the chance? What do we need to do so we can stay mentally well?
Yeah, I
And
agree.
and
And
that's
this is
part
an
of
outlet.
exactly wrapping it all the way back around 360. That's what our dolls do for us. So however which way that you do your photography, if you do storylines, cool. Whatever genre that you do is cool. If you do fashion, you do outdoor photos, you do random photos. You don't do any photos. You're like, I'm at home and I just take a picture here, but then I manipulate the hair and I do the fashion at home and then I do something else a week or two later. However which way
Mm-hmm.
that you do it that keeps you healthy and sane, that's what you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe in my heart, and of course, going by what the comments were, hello, this has been a really therapeutic conversation. We went from talking about storyline content and talking about
I'm sorry, I'm like a hamster wheel. I
no,
be
this
all
was an
over the
important
place
conversation
sometimes.
because we just got done talking 2 weeks ago about what do you do when you're in dark places? How do you create? And then last week's conversation, we spoke with Golly Miss Molly, and we talked to Life in Dahlem, and dark places came up again. So being able to know how to maintain your health, and Golly Miss Molly talked about how important it was for her mental health and well-being, being able to have Naomi and her dolls in
Mm-hmm.
total. And that's the same thing here. This is what keeps us being able to stay sane and being able to be connected. And,
Yeah.
now it would be a bad thing now, like, to me, what we do is not an addiction issue, only
Mm-hmm.
because
You
I'm
said it's not an
going to put it
addiction
out there
issue.
before we end this.
You
It's not
sure
an
about that
addiction issue.
one?
Because if we have a situation where, oh my goodness, it's 7:15, I got cooked. For the
Look
most
at
part,
you on the
from what I've
kid
seen,
timer.
from what people come to, even in my personal life, we will
Mm-hmm.
actually stop what we're doing to go take care of the house. So that's, to me, in my opinion, not an addiction. Now some of us may have a whole lot of dolls and stuff. I'm like, oh my God, I'm addicted. I got 300 plus dolls. It keeps you healthy, keeps you well. There's nothing wrong with that. So I would definitely say enjoy what you do. I do see a little buffering, but we've been on here for so long. And we got a really good time. So I want to thank you guys for being with us this whole time. I don't know if I'm freezing as well, but I just want to thank you guys for being with us. This has been a very encouraging conversation. We've gone into talking about storyline content creation. We talked about character development. I'm going to connect with my sis right after here in order to see how everything's going with her phone connection. But we were on here for such a long time. I even had to connect my charger, but it's such a good conversation. And to be able to know that storyline content creation and character development is something that keeps us connected to our health, keeps us connected to our mental well-being. And it is play therapy. And it is, as my sister said, self-therapy. So I just am very thankful to you guys for being here with me. Oh, thank you. Great strings, said Fiona's imagination. I appreciate that. If you don't get a chance to hear this whole live, if you just joined, definitely when I close out, go back, listen to it, save it, because there's a lot of great nuggets that are in this particular live that's going to help you be able to continue on writing for your dolls. And I would also say that with the other lives that I've done and with the other wonderful and amazing people that I've spoken to. There's so much that we can learn from each other as we continue to groom ourselves as writers and continue to groom ourselves as doll enthusiasts and doll photographers. So thank you once again. I've had a lovely time with you. Thank you, Barbzworld. Check out her posts. Check out her latest posts as well in order to continue to catch up with BeBe and Cece, the wild adventures of the twins. They are an amazing dolls, amazing two dolls who just have such fun lives that we can all enjoy and very relatable lives. And she does a very great job. So we are going to go ahead and close on out. I thank you guys once again for being with us. And I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Let me see. Yes, play therapy is so true for sure. And definitely while we're here, check out Friday program with My Little Curvy World. I was just trying to bring in Barbzworld. I'm hoping that we're able to close out together. I sent out the request so we can close out and say bye together. But check out My Little Curvy World every Friday at 6 o'clock because she has a wonderful program where she teaches everyone how to build from cardboard. Yes, you heard right. Cardboard, the thing that you have around your house already. You may have gotten it from an Amazon shipment, possibly even a Walmart or any other place. And she even gets into the thickness of the cardboard and what would be best for you to use so that you can build your dioramas and your different backgrounds. And I'm trying to think what else you said. Your faux walls. So check her out Fridays, and that is every Friday at 6. Thank you, Barbzworld. I was trying to connect with you so we could say bye together. I said go live with Barbzworld, but it's not clicking in. So we'll definitely do another live together. Okay,
so
there we go. All right, you know, it's hard to get us to say bye together, and it just wouldn't click in.
I'm so sorry, you guys. I feel like a crumb about that. I was trying to actually, when I had bent over, I was putting in the phone cord and it was like, bye-bye.
It does it. It does it.
I was like, I gotta get back on there so I can say bye. That was so rude.
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. So yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you for saying yes. I had an awesome time, and everything that needs to be said, I'm more than certain it has been helpful to our audience, to our listeners. So I thank you.
I hope so. I hope so. I hope they take whatever they need to take from it, and I hope they really enjoy themselves. And I hope you continue to open and broaden up everybody's horizons on all these different doll accounts and just story content. And even if it goes beyond this, just good luck on everything that you do, all your endeavors, everything that you got going for your kids. Because I know you got a lot going on, but this right here is just as important. If it's not just important to you, it's important to us. We all want to be heard. We all want to be seen, but we're all thankful for being or able to have a platform to do this. And by you sharing yours, that just shows that you're a caring person and that you're willing to share your stage with someone just to show support. So I really appreciate that you are even taking your time to do this with all that you have going on in your everyday life. Is really a pleasure, and I thank you so much.
I appreciate that. You might make my mascara run, girl.
I do, because you don't have to do it. You know, you don't have to. You didn't have to think of this as an idea. You could have just did everything that we're doing, taking pictures, making a story, and keeping your family private and your life private and what you do. But you found a different venture to go in. It's your niche. It's your thing. So that's what you're good at, and that's fine. We all, like we said, we have our things, and you found your thing. Even though you have it where it's like relatable, like ours, where we can go and look at your pictures and stuff like that, you have something else different that we are kind of attaching ourselves to, the interviewing and learning from you. So that's really good and important. It's more than just dressing dolls on your side and your perspective. And we learning from you. So you bring facts and points and, did you know? So that's really good. Really good.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You welcome.
Thank you.
Tell your husband you're not doing it just for fun. It's working. So thanks. Thanks
Oh,
for
good
keep
gosh.
pushing me.
I tell you, he is a huge, huge supporter. I think that's another reason why too, it makes me tear up so much because he says it to me, and it's nothing against him. It's like, you're connected, and so you're like, well, to some degree, like, oh, I guess you have to say that, right? And then to hear you say it, it's literally hearing the echo of what he says as far as like what you're doing is important. And so I appreciate what you're saying. And like I said, it's definitely an echo of what he has spoken to me. Like I said, he does all this setup, and there have been times where I'm like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna do it this week, because we have so much going on. And he's like, no. Or I'll ask, what time works out best, for me to be able to do this interview, and he'll be, whatever time, we'll just work it around whatever you got going on. So from the very beginning of us meeting, he's always been very, very supportive of my art, whatever I'm doing. We met when I was at the MFA program, and he read my very first, before I even published it, he read my very first piece, and he was like, this is a movie. And when I was going to my classes, because we did like a residency, he was like, I want to come with you. With you, and he watched my play. And when I was doing liturgical dance, and we hadn't even been together very long, he came to the church and started watching me dance. And when I used to teach dance, he used to always be there. So it's just anything that I've really put my hand into and done, he's always like, how can I help you? What do I need to do?
And that's good, because it sounds like he keeps inspiring to push you through and keep you going and being your best self. And that's really good. You see, look what you did here with the dolls, and he said, keep doing it. Gotta listen to him, because he ain't went wrong yet. If you envision big things for yourself, hey, who knows? You might just be in the Barbie magazine, or you might just have your article where they say, hey, here she is featured, and she's doing an article on whoever, one of our doll accounts or something, or maybe your own, and you like, I made it here. I didn't think I'd get here. I wasn't worried about getting here. I'm actually here. I've arrived. And that's really good, because it's like something to work towards. It's something to have that's your own. So it's really good. It's different. It's different. It's some people on there interviewing, but it's still different to me. We doing visual internet.
I enjoyed this because just like you said, as far as learning from me, I learned so much from you guys. And there's so many different things, there's a quote that I hadn't really heard until my husband had said this. He was like, give people their flowers while they're still alive. And and he said it to me, I think like first year we were together. And it always stood out to me as far as being able to tell people I appreciate you, because I appreciate you. And I love the work that you do. And
thank you.
And being able to tell people that, because we can feel that way, like, oh, I appreciate your work. You do real good, and then we'll keep it inside. And now, especially with social media, we'll just scroll, oh, that's nice, and we'll go on to the next one. But my thing is, if I really do appreciate your work, and and it's resonating with me, it inspires me, why not let you know that? Why not see your work is awesome. I love what you're doing, and I really do. I genuinely feel that way. That's why I reached out to you. I enjoy what you do. I enjoy the fact of being that, you connected with me. You wrote me, you'll send me, different posts and different videos that make me laugh. And I appreciate that. So I don't think that there's anything wrong with us being honest with each other and saying, let's step outside of our comfort zone, because I'm an introvert too. Let's step outside of that and let's conversate and dialogue about what we're both connected to, and that's with our dolls and with storyline. So I appreciate you, and that's one of the reasons why I reached out to you in order to, for us to be able to dialogue and chat on this online platform. And that's something that I want to continue to do. And just like you said, being able to connect with those who may not be known as much because of the algorithms or whatever the case is. Shoot, I mean, same thing right here with me. So it's not about just trying to, find out, oh, well, this person has this following, so this is who we need to talk to. No, I may not even really dialogue with that person.
Right.
We got 23.1K. That's awesome. And
that's the best part about what you're doing, because you could have been just like doing that, following the, the wave of the followers thing. And that's not really giving the people that's on the lower part of the totem pole the shine that they sometimes yearn for, want, or just like, hey, do you see me down here? It's cool. It's almost like a little wave. It's like you just go through the crowd. You know how they say, everybody get away. And it's like everybody get a little shine. You see the camera go by, everybody's hands going up, everybody feel like they're getting a little, it's sort of like that. It's like, oh, it's my time. Yay! It's cool. It's cool to be recognized. It's cool. I'm sure it's really cool for some of the accounts that have been in their countries where they're on the news and stuff. I see that stuff and I'm like, that is so cool. You were on your news channel in your state. They have recognized you. You have arrived. Aren't you so proud of yourself? Just be so proud. Bask in the ambiance,
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, your time will come. Your time will come. Right now, this is like the warm up, I guess, for you and everything you got going up. But it's gonna be something turned even bigger for you. I don't even know if it'll be for real life or continue with Dials, but by you going down this path, it's the reason why you started this way. Because I told you, you could have started like everybody else, just taking pictures and having storyline content, like you said. Anybody you said can write, but everybody has their niche.
That's true.
So,
Well, I received it. I do. And we will still be in contact when that happens too.
yes, ma'am. So, I'll be looking for that white hair wrap. I'll be stalking you down. You got that hair wrap on yet? You don't really got that material yet?
That is gonna happen. It is.
Yeah, I know. I can't wait to see it because it's gonna be so dope. You gonna be like, look at, I got it. I did it myself. I'll be like, I can't wait. It's gonna be the bomb.
Oh, thank you. I'm gonna let you know when that happens.
Okay. Well, thank you. And thank you for having me. And thank you for staying on so I can say goodbye. Because I'm like, I gotta get it back in there. I gotta say goodbye.
Oh, most definitely. Dude, thank you. Thank you for being patient with me too. Because I had the technical stuff on my side with the mic and so forth. We were trying to get that together. So
yeah. All good. All good. Pleasure. Thank you. So much. We'll talk again, I'm sure.
We will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have a good night. Enjoy. Hope the dinner is good. Sorry, kitties, for holding mommy up. Don't beat me up too bad. Don't beat me up too bad. Everybody, bye-bye from the family. Bye, everybody.
Oh, look at the baby. Say bye.
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 Bye.